All right, Mo. As we recorded this, right before we were about to start, we've gotten the news, the grave, devastating news that we had a live reaction to from you. The Atlanta Hawks have once again allowed a 50 piece to be scored against them. This time by backup Detroit Pistons guard Malachi Flynn. What is your live reaction? The game just ended. Tell me how you feel.
You know, I was aware that this happened when Bleacher Report dropped a app notification saying bench player drops 50 against the Hawks. That is the most disrespectful way to tell someone that your team got clapped. God. Malachi Flynn, I didn't even know he was on the Pistons.
Me neither. Breaking. Nobody dubs your squad. It's hilarious.
What's crazy is y'all won the game. But nobody cares. Malachi
Jalen,
Flynn dropped 50 on you? That's embarrassing.
Embarrassing as hell. And it's just... I just tweeted it. We have to retroactively take back DeJounte Murray's all defensive selection, just like we did Reggie Bush's Heisman. This is one too many 50 points against the Hawks. He hasn't stepped in yet. This is his fault.
Is it more embarrassing that they gave up 73 or that they gave up 50 to Malachi Flynn?
50 to Malachi Flynn.
Malachi Flynn was a baller. Did you guys not watch him back when he was in San Diego? What?
No, I did not.
He had some good games with the Raptors back in the rebuilding year. I remember before they got Scott, or was it before? Or no, it was Scotty Barnes' rookie year. There was some end season tanking games where he was going crazy. He was doing well for our fantasy team. We respect Malachi Flynn on this side, but not this much.
It's Malachi madness going on.
This shouldn't be
happening.
Definition. Oh no, I was gonna say March Madness, but shit, we're in April now. It's April 3rd.
That is true. Damn.
Tough. As you guys see by the title, today we're gonna be grading every single NBA team's 2024 season. We did this end of last year. You guys liked it a lot. T3 staple. There's like 2 weeks left in the season. Pretty soon we're to be gearing up to almost exclusively playoff talks and preparation for what to expect in that coming part of the season. So this is kind of like the bow on the regular season. We're giving our final thoughts on every team, how they did. When you think about expectations, when you think about the timeline of their team, whether they're rebuilding or contending, all things considered, give them one concrete grade. Nice sneeze. Good time.
Yeah, be a man, bro. What type of sneeze was that? Have some basic.
How do you sneeze? How do you sneeze?
Cutest sneeze ever,
cowardly
bro.
sneeze.
What? Yeah.
I'm trying not to be loud on the mic. I'm not trying to spray this mucus everywhere. I'm not trying to do that.
Now when most sneezes, he screams. He's a yeller.
I got some bass in my sneezes.
Blow your nose.
He erupts. It's like a shotgun spray.
That's disgusting.
Bazooka.
Oh my god.
I'm very sorry if I'm sniffly today.
I won't forgive you. But anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor. Drop a like and subscribe. If you're on audio platforms, 5 stars. Leave a review. Check us out on all socials. Check out the merch. Check out Donovan's first video that just dropped today, actually. I almost fucking forgot. He dropped his first video essay talking about sports betting. Check it out at DSmooth3, I think on YouTube. I'll put that shit, pinned comment, top of the description. Go check it out. The new Donovan Smooth channel.
We're here.
We're
here.
So here.
I'm excited. I'm saying it very calmly, but I am excited.
Everybody's excited too. They've been begging you to make videos.
Yeah, bro. I've been over there in the comments. I've watched your video like 4 times, Donovan, getting your watch time up and all that other shit. And Crown Eater, you watching this right now, better be in attendance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you was out here begging, you better go watch it, right? Because I said in the video, everybody's been asking. If nobody was asking for this video, it's going to be embarrassing. Y'all better go watch it. Y'all better go like it up.
Let's get into the episode.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
Before we get to the main section of the pod, we're going to do something that's becoming a new tradition on the show. We're going to look at the comment of the day. Every week, I ask you guys to comment your best question, best take, general thing you want us to talk about, and we'll pick one from the comments every single time. This week, we have a great comment from Parth Garg - bunch of letters. He says, do you think that Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun could be a threatening duo next season? Rockets could be a high seed with Sengun coming off an injury and Green playing the way he is, especially if they make great moves in the offseason. I picked this one because, Jalen Green seems to be finally making the leap, putting it all together, playing at basically a star level for the past month. A lot of conversation has been had about what that means for the Rockets. A bunch of stupid narratives been coming around about, should they trade Sengun? Was he holding him back? All this nonsense. So, how are you guys viewing the Rockets? Do you see this duo being good together? Do you think they got to break it up? What's your general take?
So, okay, so this depends on what Jalen Green is going to do, because we see this every year where in March and April, Jalen Green starts going crazy. Everybody kind of feels like this version of Jalen Green is kind of real this time. I feel like the consensus around him is that it's finally clicking. We're finally starting to see him take that leap. And in theory, it should work, right? And I think the comments of people saying trade Sengun or trade Jalen Green, that's dumb, because if you're the Rockets and you've been tanking for the last 3 years, instead of having one really good player, let's have two really good players. And then we can and then we can keep rolling, especially when Jalen Green can operate on the perimeter and you can put him into two-man actions with Sengun, who is a good passer, who's a very good passer. And you could just make that work. Like, I do think that them two as a duo would work next season.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Mo?
I agree. I think all the nonsense and noise of people talking about like Alfred Sengun and, he might be the problem, trade his ass or whatever, it's absolutely ridiculous. Jalen Green was in trade rumors he was in low-key trade rumors. He wasn't in like the spotlight, but he was definitely in the shadows. And now that he's been snapping.
They dangled him.
Over the past, exactly, they dangled his ass. But now that he's been snapping over the past month, that's not nothing to go ahead and you don't completely turn around your ship and rearrange the hierarchy of your team, because Sengun been doing this shit since he was a rookie and he's shown nothing but steady elevation. We've seen plenty of times in the past of okay high draft picks elevating their game toward the end of the season. Circumstances are a little bit different now, and I think Jalen Green has shown a level of consistency that can be maintained. But my biggest question is I don't know how they'll be able to coexist, because how they're playing right now favors what Jalen Green's biggest strengths are, which is being the best athlete or the second best athlete almost every single night on the NBA court, which is they're playing hella fast. And Sengun's not
but they can do that with Sengun. The correlation has been drawn that he started doing good as soon as Sengun got hurt. So clearly it's because of that, right? People were like, oh, there's causation there. Like, it has to be because of that. This run started for the last few games where Sengun was there. They were winning heavy when Sengun was still playing. And you look at every passing hub big in the league, Jokic, Sabonis, Bam, Horford, whoever you want to call it in that realm of player, they all succeed when they have a dynamic guard next to them, like a Jalen Green. Like, the two skill sets fit so good together in theory. Now, Sengun has to get a better three-point shot. That has to improve. Jalen Green has to get better playing off ball, coming off of screens from Sengun and whatnot. All the, split actions that we see work with these other bigs.
Yeah.
But you don't win with just the passing hub big or just the dynamic guard like Jalen Green. You win when you have those two archetypes that can play off each other and really make each other better. So even if you think that Jalen Green can be better without Sengun or whatever, you don't have a ceiling unless you have both of them clicking. So you might as well try to find a way to make it both work.
Yeah, I agree. And we've seen when Jalen Green has it going, we've seen teams double him. If Jalen Green gets doubled and now you have Sengun on the short roll on that,
exactly,
and he's the one playing a 4-on-3, then you unlock everybody else. And so it really just depends on their ceiling. I think is going to be defined by whether or not Jalen Green can keep this up. But if he can, and people have to start picking their poison with what they want to guard Houston with, that's going to be the key for them. And I do think that can happen if we see a good Jalen Green next year.
100%. Jalen Green's biggest thing that's gone better has been his decision making, and the simple fact that he's shooting 39% on his threes right now with a difficult shot diet. That's allowed everything to open up. He's at 72% at the rim over March. Ridiculous number, far better than 58% he was at before, because the 3-point shot is falling, which has given him all the confidence in the world, making it easier for him to attack because people have to respect the three. These are things that aren't just he touches the ball more because Sengun's not there. It's not that simple. This stuff could be happening even if Sengun was there. And even on top of the fact that the Rockets were winning so much in March, they were 30th in the NBA in assist percentage. They were strictly winning off of him and some of the other guys just getting buckets and obviously playing good defense. But they weren't moving the ball at all. So they still have that clear weakness that can be addressed with Sengun being added back into the mix.
Now, something else that does need to be emphasized is that he's facing real life things going on right now. We've seen it before in the past, 2019 NBA Finals. Fred VanVleet has a kid. turns into a top 20 point guard in the NBA and his reputation changes. Now he's a starter caliber player. But we've seen this consistently. And Jalen Green having one of those times in his life, I think Donovan called his ass like what? You just call him child support Jalen Green or something like that? Yep. Something crazy. And
I've seen that.
Having a kid in your life changes you as a man. And hey.
You just gave Donovan credit for my joke. Crazy.
Hey, man.
Wait, did you say that?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Said it in the TikTok time.
I remember. I guess it was funnier when Donovan said it. That it just stuck with me. I don't know. It didn't seem like a you type thing to say.
I don't even know if I said it, but I'm gonna take credit for it.
He never once said it.
Just say it. Just run with it.
Yeah, but no, you're right. That's definitely we gotta encourage him to continue his activity year by year. I don't know how we do it. We need to get the memo out there that no, he sees it. He knows it. He knows what to do.
Exactly. If I'm a
the interesting part is though,
mm-hmm.
these two guys can definitely coexist. We're getting a great version of Amen Thompson right now, who's basically playing center with Sengun out. I wonder how that fit will be. If Amen Thompson can start there next year with Sengun starting, it really comes down to, does Amen Thompson get a 3-point shot?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to maximize Amen and Sengun with both of them not being 3-point shooters.
That's hard.
It's time. It's time to get in the lab. We talked last week, and I gave Anthony Black the PSA. Amen Thompson, same PSA. Go to the gym. Let's get this 3-point shot working. Let's get you a shot.
Let's get him set up a lethal shooter.
Yeah,
100%.
and I think at that point in time, you obviously, like, if you're the Rockets and the coaching staff, you obviously have to just prioritize, Jalen Green and Sengun and the young guys who are giving you productivity now, and you just don't. Like, Amen Thompson cannot be a priority. His growth is important, of course, but you put that in the back burner in your mind and let him figure it out at that point in time.
Listen, Amen Thompson might be the priority. He might be the priority if I'm that coach. Like, is an archetype player that if he hits,
he's the one.
Can be probably more valuable than both these guys if he hits the ceiling.
He's the one. He's the one.
Yeah, that's hard to say because Sengun's playing at an all-star level and Jalen Green is damn near close to that too right now, and they're producing right now and. Amen Thompson's playing a very important role, just being a huge body. Of course, you being one of the best athletes in the NBA alongside Jalen Green helps too. But that's one thing that I worry about for sure. That's one thing that I worry about, and I haven't taken into consideration when it comes to the ascension of, Jalen Green and how he looks alongside Sengun.
Yeah.
So
going to the second half of this question, the point of this question is, do you see them being a threatening duo next year? And do you think the Rockets can be like next year's version of the Grizzlies or Thunder or whatever other young team that builds out a young core, struggles for a while, and then makes a leap into being a contender out of nowhere? Could you imagine that being the Rockets
see the
if you get a
standings
good version of Jalen?
They definitely could. It's just hard to see it's hard to imagine who would end up falling off and whatnot. But considering the trajectory that they're headed towards, it's hard to
don't even think
them.
about people falling off. Just like, will they be a serious threat next year?
It's hard.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I think it's very clear that Ime has come in and has really changed the direction of this franchise. And he's if Jalen Green is going to play at this level and Sengun is going to play at a near all-star level, you're going to have enough talent to get wins night in and night out. And they've had some long losing streaks this year where maybe a young team next year doesn't do that as often, right? Maybe you don't have multiple 7-game losing streaks. And so I do think that they are going to be able to make some noise in the Western Conference, especially because things always move in and out. You're always going to see some teams rise. Some people are going to get hurt. This is just a factor of the game. I think Houston can definitely make a push next year.
Yeah, we'll see. Like we said, Amen Thompson is a big swing factor, right? Can he be a point guard next year instead of basically being the center? Because right now, since he's been starting with Sengun out, he's averaging 14.5 points and 9.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals. Basically just being the 5 on offense, 4 on defense for all intents and purposes. Already one of the most active defenders in the NBA, like Mo said, ridiculous athlete. If he can be a point guard and have some sort of spacing element, then you can imagine they have the tenacious defender and ideally good passer as a point guard, the go-to scoring wing in Jalen Green. They honestly have a bunch of wings to surround them in Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Dylan Brooks, all these guys, Cam Whitmore. then the passing hub big, like you start to see all the archetypes come together that could lead to really high level play if everything clicks together.
Yeah, facts.
To be honest, I don't care about none of this. I'm just so happy that Jalen Green has finally started to figure it out, bro. Like,
yeah,
because they already had a few replacements knocking on the Houston Rockets' door, aka Cam Moore, Amen Thompson, just other more promising prospects. But he resurrected his name. He was about to be thrown in trade talks and all that, but now all those shits are just completely deaded, and there's just a new light around him, bro. Just love seeing young players figure it out.
Shout out Jalen Green. All right, that concludes our comment of the day. Next segment, another new TD3 special. Mo, what is our moment of the week?
Moment of the week for the new listeners of TD3, or for the no old listeners with Alzheimer's. If you know, because we have old crown eaters as well. You know, they be out, they be around.
Right.
I met one the other day.
Why would you say that?
We are gonna be talking about the moment of the week. What the moment of the week is, us recapping what has happened over the past 7 days since we last recorded. And the moment of the week for this week is another duel between Victor Wembanyama and Nikola Jokic. Specifically, what transpired in about a 2 minute and 30 second span between Nikola Jokic and Wemby. Throughout Nikola Jokic's entire career, he's never been a dunker seriously at all. Throughout this entirety of the season, he dunked the ball like 16 times, maybe 17 times. And this one night, he had to dunk the ball 3 times. That's obviously a season high. Damn near might be a career high for Jokic's career. Not that anybody should care. Just interesting. And it's only because of Wemby, and this dude got his shot swatted so many times against him. So, damn, bro, what a duel that we witnessed.
Yeah, I saw a tweet where someone's a Jokic fan. I forgot who it was. Was it Jokic Joestar? I don't know. Someone said, thank God that Wemby's prime doesn't line up with Jokic's because this league is fucking his. And that's every time you watch a games like this, as a rookie, he's going toe-to-toe in like legitimately like some of the best performances of the year with these stars. It's just ridiculous, right? And he just continues to amaze us every time.
Yeah. We've said so much about Wemby. Like this, I feel like every single week we come on here, we talk about Wemby, we talk about how we've never seen anything like this. It's amazing, everything that he's doing. The league is his. I'm just still in awe of not only what he did in this game against Jokic, against Jalen Brunson a couple nights ago. Jalen Brunson had 61 points, and somehow Wemby still had a performance that could hold up against that because he had 40, 20, and 7. Like, there's things that he does every single time. And Jokic was talking yesterday about how he was telling Wemby, like, hey, like, stop blocking the ball, right? Or else I'm gonna do something. And then he said that Wemby blocked the ball 4 more times after that. And he's insane. He's crazy. There's not enough superlatives to talk about.
What did he have? Like 8 blocks and 8 assists in this game? Like, he was so close to a quadruple double.
Wemby in this game, he had 8 assists and 9 blocks, along with, of course, 15 rebounds, bro. Like, that's ridiculous.
He just does this. 9 blocks. And nobody bats a fucking eye because this is what he does. It's absurd.
He's done this again. He's had legendary games already. 2 legendary games against Kevin Durant. Did his thing against Jalen Brunson. He's had legendary games against, I believe, Luka and now Jokic. He's just dueling every superstar and looking them in the eyes.
Yeah. And also on the other end, Jokic is closing the season strong finally. He's finally having a year unlike last year where he doesn't go unserious mode and piss away the MVP because he doesn't care. Looking like he's going to win the MVP award. I know Luka continues to have more momentum, but the ESPN straw poll just came out, where they talk to a lot of voters and get their opinions on it. With like 9 games left in the season, Jokic has by far the most votes. So barring ridiculous change in a week and a half, it looks like Jokic is going to get his 3rd MVP.
Yeah, congratulations. This game too, he also put up like just a very casual 42 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. Slight work.
Exactly. Slight work. Like for Jokic, it's just so funny. Yeah. Like, again, nobody bats an eye. It's just like, oh yeah, Jokic doing Jokic things. Yeah. You see these 2 stat lines next to each other and you're just like, oh yep, this is the NBA now.
This game is going to be one of those games where we look back in like 10, 15 years, probably towards the end of Wemby's career. And we're going to be like, wow, bro, we really saw this 19, 20-year-old duke it out with one of the, I'm going to say it, 10, 15 greatest players of all time.
Someone said it's an instant free Dawkins duel that's going to be posted in 10
Exactly.
years.
Yeah.
That's just the only way to describe it.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe
All right,
it.
man.
Bro.
That's a good moment of the week. A great game to watch. Let's get on to the main topic of this episode. Let's grade every single NBA team's 2024 season. I think we should knock out the easy ones first, the ones that we don't really need to talk about. So I'm pulling up the NBA standings. You know, like the Celtics.
Let's get the dumbasses out
right?
of here, Isaac. Just say it. Let's get the dumbasses out of there. Let's suspend these motherfuckers.
I don't even know. Sorry, not even what I'm getting at.
I'm just saying it for you, buddy. Let's get to it.
Let's get the easy ones out of the way. The Celtics are clear A, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Ain't nothing to say.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Nuggets clear A, right?
Yes.
for sure.
Nothing to say there. Now let's get the clear F's out of the way.
Yeah.
Trailblazers, F.
Failure.
Grizzlies.
Suspended.
Actually, we'll say the Grizzlies. We don't know what to say about them. Wizards, F. Hornets, F. Pistons,
Failures.
F. Right?
Failures.
Yes.
Suspended. Yep.
Nets, F.
Yes.
Major
For
F.
sure. For sure.
Okay. Those are the ones that I think aren't worth talking about. Everybody else we can spend at least a little bit of time on. Where do you guys want to start? What's the most interesting team you want to open with?
Can we follow? You said Celtics A plus. I think that's fair. Can we move second seed in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks?
Okay, let's start with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
What grade do you want to give them, Mo? What's your general vibe, knowing the ups and downs of the Bucks season? What would you grade them?
Ups and downs of the season within the first 20, 30 games or whatever. Head coach is fired, but through all the turmoil, they still maintain the second seed in the Eastern Conference. I can't give them an A, but I want to give them a B, high B plus, because it's still like bro, you're through all this turmoil. Damian Lillard going through the things he's going through, new coach, new system in place. You put Doc Rivers in charge of things. Injuries happening with your third best player, and you're still the second seed. Yeah, this is very solid. I mean, I got to give them.
They're the weirdest team because like a big part when we're grading teams, a big part of it is expectations, right?
Exactly.
What you thought they would do and then how they lived up to that. They had the most lofty expectations in the motherfucking world. It was a debate between them and the Celtics as who would be at the top of the conference. Knowing the Celtics assembled an insane team, but the expectations of a Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo duo alone made you think they could be neck and neck. And now, was that just unfair, or were they just disappointing? Like, how do we parse that with what actually happened?
It's disappointing, yes, because if you have two players that you know that in theory they should work together, right?
Yeah.
If you have Giannis and you have Damian Lillard, those two guys should be one of the two best duos in the league and one of the elite wrecking crews. I still want to give them a B minus though, just because they've been able. A lot of teams have turmoil. Wow, this mic is falling. A lot of teams have turmoil, and that leads to losses. The Bucks have had a lot of that and have still found a way to win games. So I think if we're grading the season, they've still put themselves in a position to where you can go into the playoffs, have a favorable matchup, have home court until you play the Celtics or something like that. So you do have to give them credit for what they've done. But when we talk about power rankings, and we'll get to that in a couple of weeks, then I think we could be a little bit harder on them. But they've been about B minus.
Most teams crumble under the pressure, and like we look at teams that fail miserably, like the Lakers with Russell Westbrook, maybe the Warriors this year, whatever it may be, and maybe fail miserably is dramatic for the Warriors this year, but don't live up to the expectations preseason. Typically, you're looking at a play-in team or something of that sort, a 6 seed, whatever it may be, being consistently 2 and at worst 3. That's fighting through adversity to some extent. So I'm cool with a B minus.
The credit that they deserve is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, as long as he has spacing and just spacing around him, and he's still in his prime, there's no way throughout his career, especially in the Eastern Conference as well, have to give him that he's gonna ever finish below a 3 seed. And him having one of the best seasons of all time that no one really cares about, scoring wise, efficiency wise as well, that is like carrying heavy. I don't know where they would be at if Giannis was just having a very stagnant season and didn't improve as a player at all.
I heard in Kenny's video on his channel, he said Giannis might have the greatest season of all time to finish as a 4th in MVP voting. And that's so facts. Like, it's so rare to see a stat line this ridiculous and not even be top 3 in MVP. It's kind of hilarious. Like, this league is at a ridiculous point of production with their top stars.
It's never a headline of him shooting 60% from the field while putting up a clear 30. Like, it's ridiculous. Never seen this
man.
before.
I'm telling you, insane voter fatigue. We've never seen anything like this since LeBron. It's hilarious.
You got your coach fired 30 games into the year. Like, I'm sorry.
It has nothing to do with him.
You're disqualified. You're disqualified.
Nothing to do with him and his MVP candidacy.
You're disqualified.
That's ridiculous. Next, let's go to the Western Conference as the next team. Let's stick at the top of the conference. Minnesota Timberwolves. Is that an easy A?
That's an easy A for considering expectations for sure. Last live stream, for all y'all who didn't tune in, you should be tuning in 8 p.m. Eastern time every single Monday. Yesterday was a Tuesday. Forgive us. We all looked back at our standings, preseason standings, and we all had them at like between a 10th and like 9th seed. No one believed in them.
Nobody. Besides Minnesota Timberwolves fans would have told you from the start, believe in the vision, the too big thing will work. And there was people that believed in them, but mass consensus was that, listen, we saw it, they try it, we understood the vision. It's not working with Cat at the 4, not getting the most out of Rudy Gobert, putting a lot of pressure on it as a playmaker. It's kind of iffy. They proved us all wrong. Been the best defense in the league, bar none, and has made the necessary developments to be the best offensive player on the team. Cat has leaned into his role really well, played the best defense of his career. I don't know how you couldn't give him an A.
No, you 100% have to. Again, we were talking about Cat having to be traded. And we were talking about that and the fact that Rudy Gobert and that trade was arguably the worst trade in NBA history. And having those two things, along with Anthony Edwards, trying to make a leap, we're trying to see if he was going to make it. It was just too much. You remember the quote at the start of last season where he was like, I mean, I don't have any space in the paint. Like, it's hard to operate. And it just didn't feel good coming into the year for them to also not even have a good offense, but still be the best defense in the league and carry them into so many wins. That is, you can't be fighting for a 1 seed and not get an A.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, Thunder's an A too, right? Similar situation where they were a hot pick to be good now and make that leap as a young core. But I don't know if the consensus was like, this is going to be a top 3 seed and maybe the 1 seed by the end of the year. Easy A, right?
If we were doing number grades, they would have the highest grade in the league in terms of how successful this year was given expectations.
Over the Timberwolves?
Yes.
So what about the Thunder is more surprising to you than the Timberwolves?
I think that for Oklahoma City, the fact that they were out of the playoffs last year, and the one thing that really, really changed their team was Chet, a very skinny rookie who is coming off of a year-long foot surgery, and everyone's still like Chet's, he's supposed to be good, but I don't know how good he's going to be immediately. And he can turn them into an elite defense. Shea is fighting for MVP as well, something that Anthony Edwards isn't really doing. Like Chet Holmgren can win or could have won Rookie of the Year at some point this year. Shea was and still is in the running for MVP. Mark Daigneault is in the running for Coach of the Year. Like, they could win so many awards along the way. And the vibes also along the way have been immaculate. So I would give them the highest grade.
This dude likes barking at post game interviews. That's
it's fun. What do you mean? They like each other. It's so it honestly is refreshing to see young teams have this kind of like camaraderie early on. Like it's nice. I don't know. I like seeing it.
Yeah. And like all year, they've been so good and have had like so little weaknesses for the whole year. The main talking point is, how is Josh Giddey going to be in the playoffs? Is he going to be the liability he is right now? He's really destroying them. And he's been playing better lately. He's becoming far less of an issue. He's having the necessary aggression and confidence needed to attack the mismatches and not be able to just be ignored on offense. And like, he's trending the right direction come playoff time, in a point that if you choose to believe it's real and will translate to the playoffs, which I don't know if I'm there yet, I'm still kind of concerned. But if you do believe that that's real, they are so close to flawless. I don't know why we doubt them other than youth can't win in the playoffs. And that lazy argument. I don't know why else. What else can you pinpoint as something that makes a season anything other than perfect?
I mean, first, I wouldn't say that's a lazy argument because I think it's a real thing just based off of NBA history and track record and shit like that. The last time that we saw a team like this go ahead and dominate at a young age was quite literally the same organization back when they had KD, Russ, and Harden and shit like that. And so could they be at those levels? I don't fucking know.
Why not?
The numbers are very comparable. J-Dub is on an insane trajectory that a lot of people don't, fully realize that. But nonetheless, I go toe-to-toe in my head in terms of like which team is the most, like which team is between the Timberwolves and OKC has been the more impressive. I might lean OKC because age and this is like so unforeseen. But at the same time, with the Minnesota Timberwolves, it just seemed like it was just a cooked product just because of how the roster was constructed. But seeing how Genius Mark Dagnall is and how unique his offense feels, I'm not an big X's and O's guys, but just running certain acts is just like, wow, bro, I'm over here and I'm watching it from I see everything on the court and I still have no idea what's going on. Like this dude is doing some next level shit right now, Oh
yeah, his whole thing is the guard. He's really a lot of players. I think the LeBron era really ushered in like guard screens. Ty Lue was really big on that, playing small ball and attacking mismatches in that way. LeBron did it for ISO purposes to attack small guys in like the post and stuff in playoff setting. Mark Dagnall took that to the next fucking level. And it's just like, we're going to run pick and roll with every single combination you could think of. Chet's going to run it with Isaiah Joe screening for him. Shea's going to run it with Josh Giddey screening for him. All these different combinations that just make every single defender on the other team be on their toes at all points, having to guard every sort of action possible. Next level. And real quick to clarify, I know I said it was lazy, the youth thing. I think it's both possibly true and lazy because while it is a factor, right? Like if you look at them compared to like, LeBron James and the Lakers, there's a clear difference in experience there. That is a thing. But people are so quick to just like act like the Thunder are just a walking lick in a first round against a play-in team because the youth, that the conversation isn't anything about the actual team, the actual X's and O's we're talking about, the merit of their offense, the merit of their defense. It's just like, yep, they're young. They're going to get clapped.
Yeah. You know why?
The way it's used is very lazy.
Yeah, then that's the only way. That's the first thing. The conversation is almost never about like the actual team X's and O's or roster wise because what the fuck are you going to talk about? What are you going to say? They have their star player. They have their secondary star in J-Dub. Chet is a very, very consistent rookie in terms of what he's being asked to do, and he's also one of the most versatile, valuable centers already and just straight up players in the league. So it's like there's nothing that you can pinpoint towards other than their age. But I agree holistically, these teams deserve a massive A, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, Dom, what team you want to do next?
Let me go down the standings real quick. Let's go back to the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers because they've had a very weird season.
Shaky.
I have no idea where to put them. And I think like it's kind of the same concept as the Bucks to where I want to give them credit for winning all these games. But at the same time, it's like, are they C+? B-?
I wouldn't say C+.
Because it still doesn't feel right. Like they've been able to accomplish a lot and they've been able to win a lot of games. We are at this point in the season and I still don't know what is happening in Cleveland. So I have no idea what's going on.
This will probably be one of the harder ones to gauge because a major part of their struggles is injury related. So how much do you fault the team that just hasn't had their team together?
It's not really faulting though, because it's like the Grizzlies are another team that are going to have a low grade. It's not their fault that everybody got hurt. It just is what it is. So if we're just grading seasons, it happens sometimes. So I wouldn't be scared to give the Cavs a lower grade because of injuries. I think for them it's just a lack of really identity at this point in the year, and for a team that has the amount of talent that they have, and Donovan Mitchell, who's played really, really well. Darius Garland has taken a step back in certain, aspects. Some
having a rough time for sure.
Exactly. It's not great. It's not
okay. Here's a question. Mo, you answer this first.
Yeah.
When you're grading these teams, are you focused more on what they did in the regular season, or for a contender like them, how they've proven to project towards the playoff setting? Because I think if you're just grading the regular season, they deserve a really high grade. To be the 3 seed despite their injury struggles, massively impressive. But if you're grading towards what they've proven as a contender projecting towards the playoffs, that's when we get to what Donovan's talking about, where the lack of identity could be a little concerning.
Yeah. I like both of those thought processes, and I like to combine them both in terms of how we think and add context to these conversations. Because like throughout the first 20 games, boom, Darius Garland gone, and boom, Evan Mobley out with like knee injury, you know, and they have to completely rewrite the way they play. And Donovan Mitchell playing hella heliocentric ball for the first time in his career with OD spacing and shit, and then Darius Garland gets thrown into the mix. Evan Mobley thrown into the mix again. We're seeing them play so many different versions of like good starting lineups in the NBA, objectively speaking. And then Donovan Mitchell goes down. There's just so many. They've had the most roller coaster of a season, and I think the best way to vote them or to grade them is just simply just giving them a B, you know, because they haven't done anything surprising. But at the same time, they have had like they've had the true difficulty just getting things together because you can't when you don't have injuries or when you don't have anybody healthy. Yeah.
I lean towards giving them a good grade. It could be plus. I think
that's fair.
They fixed a lot of their issues from last year. The reason their downfall in the playoffs came was pretty much lack of spacing. At the end of the day, there's other things that happened, but it all came down to the fact that they couldn't contend with the Knicks defense because they didn't have the safety valves to bail them out and space the floor and allow their guys to deal with the pressure that the Knicks were throwing at them. Max Strus has helped in a lot of regards in that way. They obviously have Niang. Isaac Okoro is making a big leap. Karis LeVert's been a good rotation player. You know, they've helped that issue. Their defense overall has been a little bit less consistent than last year because of all the injuries. I think they've done about what you'd expect for them given the injuries, plus fixed a hole that we knew would have hurt them in the playoffs. I think they deserve more credit than they do criticism.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going. Let's just go with straight B.
Okay,
like that's fair. Yeah, not a B plus, not a B minus, just right there, B.
Yeah, I agree. Like
it's so hard to project this team, man.
I know because there's so many moving parts, but considering the situation that they've been placed in, Karis LeVert making like real life leaps in terms of just like playmaking and decision making in general. And Sam Merrill coming out the cut out of nowhere and being a real rotation player.
Forgot about him too.
He's a sniper from hell, bro. So it's like they fixed those issues, and I think considering what they went through, they've maximized their potential as of now in terms of like, you know, what they've been able to do. Can't ask for
Side note, Tristan Thompson's in these highlights. I forgot he was with them early in the season. What an arc that what a league we have right now with all these storylines that Tristan Thompson can have a steroid scandal and we can just forget about it. That's hysterical. It's hilarious.
Dude did drugs in the middle of the season. He got suspended for quite a bit.
Tristan Thompson was juicing.
Dude doing drugs, man. Wow. Oh my goodness. What a throwback. That's hilarious, bro. He was actually like playing very valuable basketball for him too.
I bet he was.
Yeah. It was an actual hit. Cavs fans were actually sad when that happened, bro.
Listen, give Enes Kanter the shit he was on. I bet he'd be playing good basketball too.
You just uttered those 2 words. I can't believe you said that, bro. Isn't his last name like Freedom now or some shit?
Yeah, fuck Enes Kanter.
That's what he wants us to call him. I'm not calling him that.
Call me
What a grifter.
now,
fuck Enes Kanter.
Yeah, it's
What's
so
the next
lame.
team, Mo? He's so lame.
Yeah. Okay, so next team. I guess we can go ahead and hop back into the Western Conference. And do you guys want to go ahead and talk about the Los Angeles Clippers? This is another
that's a good one.
Go ahead
okay.
Okay, so they're currently the 4 seed, 47-28. 5-5 over the last 10 games. They're 5.5 games out of the 1 seed. Basically the top of the second tier of the league still. At one point, we're in that top tier of the league, but have fallen to the top of the second tier. Have shown us ups and downs. But overall, we feel pretty good about them post-trade, right? Like, you still feel better than you did like the first week of the season.
Ooh, you couldn't get any worse in the first week of the season.
Better than 0-6.
You had former announcers dropping basically diss tracks against James Harden and their entire organization, bro.
Yeah. They're a hard one because you don't want to let the recency bias kick your ass too much. But also, if you have a strong stretch and you can't maintain it, you can't get too much credit either. Is this another team that's a B for inconsistency?
I don't know if this is Clippers hate seeping through me. I feel like we have to give them a C. I know. I feel like we have to give them a C because not only has the recent stretch been bad, but we haven't seen, and obviously like when you integrate somebody like James Harden, your play style is going to be different, but Kawhi Leonard's scoring in terms of like how great of a scorer being in the upper echelon, that hasn't necessarily been there. We've seen Paul George kind of take a step back a little bit. James Harden has taken steps back. The whole team hasn't been as great as you thought. And they were like good at the start of the year. They were like fine. Get James Harden. I feel like a majority of the season has been more average than wow.
Yeah, they had like 25 games where they were unstoppable, but that's 25 is less than half of 82, obviously.
Yeah, and so for the rest of the other 50-something games, they've been cool or horrendously bad. So I think I would give them a C.
Yeah, they're still third in offensive rating for the year. So they profile as a heavy offensive team, obviously, built around James Harden's playmaking and the go-to scoring of their two elite wings. Even with the downside stretches, they're still top 3 in offense. So that still is played out to a level you'd want, right? Obviously, the Celtics are number 1 by a mile because they're unstoppable. But after that, the Clippers are like neck and neck for number 2 with Pacers. They're 1.5 points per 100 possessions worse. Defense is 18th for the year. You want a little bit better from a true contender, right? You have to be able to defend at a high level in the playoffs. But given the personnel, that's not too far off what you'd expect, right?
No, but if you look at the stuff post All-Star break, they're the 3rd worst defense in the league.
Okay, let me filter the last 15 games. Last 15 games, they are... Whoa, I'm scrolling for a while. Jesus Christ. Where's the offense? They are 28th in offense. Oh, that's defense. Never mind. 28th in defense over the last 15 games.
Yeah.
But still 4th in offense.
You know what that tells me? Really good on offense, really bad on defense. Let's meet in the middle and give them a C. Like that is what they are profiling out to be towards the end of the season, which honestly, like we said, has been more of what we've seen from them. And the 25 games that they were going crazy, we don't know if we're going to see that again. The Clippers don't know if they can find what they had during that stretch again. I don't know if I can give them the same grade as like.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think there's teams that will have a worse season than them that will grade higher, because despite the success overall this season, the Clippers' biggest issue when projecting to the playoff setting is inconsistency. We know who James Harden is. We know who Paul George is. Great players that can have some moments in the playoffs where smart defenses can see them out of their rhythm and make them have famously bad moments in the playoff settings. This lack of consistency is a really bad sign for that to not translate to the playoffs, you know? That's the exact issue that you want them to not have, and they have it. So C+, I think.
You can only get away with so much if you're like the Los Angeles Clippers, you know? I feel like earlier in the season, they were hitting all cylinders. I always say that shit, but they were clicking, bro. They were clicking like a motherfucker. Everyone was like just in their bag. Zubac. We were hearing stories from reporters about how James Harden stays after practice to work on his pick and roll game with Zubac and also their shit. And I feel like since then, what's hit them hella hard is complacency. They're like, oh shit, when we really like do this shit and when we lock in, we're like that. And now, you know, referring to their defense especially, they just play super. I guess the word I would use is like nonchalant and just like relax, and they've really let their foot off of the gas. And you don't do that as a team when you're not solidified. The only teams who deserve that type of pass and gâché are like any and all LeBron James led teams in the past, and like the Denver Nuggets and maybe the Celtics, bro. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're 8th worst defensive rebound percentage in the league. So what you basically just described is they are not a low effort team at times, that they get lackadaisical in that way. Defensive rebounding is a clear way you can look at that. Like that, a lot of that is effort, or maybe it's their size deficiencies that hurt them too there, another weakness of theirs. But they're also 9th lowest in assists per game. There's red flags there that align with what you'd expect given all the things you just said.
Stop. Yeah, all right, C+.
Yeah. Harden's been looking real Raymond Felton-ish as of late, bro. And I hate to say it. Real Raymond Felton.
He's maintaining his energy for the playoffs so he can go back to being early season Harden. I hope.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay.
That hope saved you.
Okay.
Isaac,
OJ.
me and Donovan have been picking teams. Who do you want to go with next?
Let's go across the hall. Let's talk about the Lakers. Let's give people what they want. They're waiting for the Lakers and Warriors. Let's give them one of them and spice it up. What are you guys grading the Los Angeles Lakers?
It's been a
They're D?
They are the 9 seed right now. Like
Yeah.
they were one of the teams. And if we're talking about like expectations, they were one of the teams that many people thought had one of the best off seasons in terms of retaining talent, getting people on team-friendly contracts. Obviously, you've had some injuries. Gabe Vincent hasn't played a lick all year long. I understand
He's back now.
I get that. But this is a team with a healthy LeBron James, healthy Anthony Davis playing at his peak, and you are fighting for your playoff life. That's not good. It's not good.
So here's the thing. I've been trying to. I was thinking the same way. I've been very pessimistic with the Lakers as a Lakers fan. I'm trying. Listen, they're 44-33. They're 11 games above 500. It could be a lot fucking worse. How? Okay, so this isn't just a Lakers issue. This is a general Western Conference issue.
Yes.
How do we deal with the fact that the West is historically loaded this year? One of the best Western Conferences you've ever seen. These teams in the play-in tournament range are good. They're all winning way more games than they're losing.
Yeah.
They're all like 7-3 over the last 10. Legitimately good teams. The Lakers have an elite offense since the All-Star break. Defense, don't ask me about it. But they're playing great basketball, winning a lot more than they're losing. Is it their fault they're still the 9 seed, or are they just a victim of having an insane conference? Like, that doesn't mean they've been failing as an individual team,
One thing that I can say that makes me lean towards being like it's their fault is that AD and LeBron James haven't had any massive injury issues at all, and have 9 times out of 10 been on the court almost at all times. And that's very alarming.
But they're winning. They're winning their games now. Like, everybody else is winning too. Like, they're not doing poorly. Everybody's just doing well. It's insane. We don't ever really see years like this. So, like, do we blame the teams for the number being 9 next to them, even though most years that would be like a 7-6 seed? Probably like a 6 or 5, honestly, at 44-33.
Yeah.
They're going to win like 49 games. Like, that's not a normal 9 seed.
I'm sorry. The standard for everybody else, it's like when people argue Luka getting MVP, and it's like, oh well, 2017 Russ did this, and 2020 Jokic did this, or 2021 Jokic did that. They're not going up against 2021 Jokic. Like, if I understand, if we were playing in 2014, this probably would be a 3 seed. We're not in 2014. This is just what the league is right now. And so everybody else has to play the same Western Conference, and they have to win games. And
True.
8 other teams have figured out a way to win more games and be in a better position than the Lakers. And so that's why I would give them a D. Also because of the letdown that they had post in-season tournament.
Yeah.
And the complete way that their season has shifted after that.
Bro.
So
oh my God. My bad. Didn't cut you off. I'm looking at last year. You said this isn't 2012, and 2012 that'd be a 3 seed. It's not even about 2012. Last year, the 3 seed had 48 wins. The 4 seed had 45 wins. The Lakers currently have 44. Like, they're playing so fine. This is an absurd year in which standings are not regular.
Yeah.
How many games are left?
I get that, but you're still fighting for your life.
Yeah, exactly.
77. There's only 5 games left. Okay, so they might win like 47 games.
Something I will say is, like, if they would have like committed to be a Darvin Ham thing, if he would have committed to a team identity way earlier in the season instead of like, D'Lo on the bench, AR, you're the guy, and then like or actually it was inverse of that. AR on the bench, D'Lo, you're the guy, and just constantly flip-flopping, putting Cam Reddish in the starting lineup and all that, benching Torian Prince starting, and there's just so much shit going on. And they simply just like, compared to what we expected at the start of the season to make this conversation easier to digest, they just like did not reach them. And I think more so it probably is a coaching thing more now that I think about it more and more.
100% is. Yeah, Darvin Clan's put on a massive class of dog shit, famously. Like, for the reasons you said, the lineup decisions have been ludicrous. Fans were clamoring for Rui to start. Once Rui started being the go-to 4, they became an elite offense. They finally have identity. Earlier in the season, I was telling you guys that my biggest worry is with Vando, they can be a great defense, but not a good offense. And but like, he also neuters their offense. there was no path to them being an elite defense or an elite offense given their personnel. They found a way to be that elite offense. So I'll go with y'all. I'll go like D+ or maybe C- if I'm being nice about it.
I'll give them a C.
Just C's a little too much for me. But I think it's because of so much wasted time, like you said, that Darvin Ham wasted so much time finding that identity and building a rhythm that it's a missed opportunity in that way.
Yeah. My final grade would be C-, and I only upgrade them because they were able to get the inaugural in-season tournament. So good for them.
Oh yeah, there you go. Listen, they got hardware. Who else can say that right now?
Okay, that's
we got a fucking chip this year. It's gonna be us and the Nuggets, the only teams that can say that.
Okay. No, that's hilarious, bro. I remember during like
I don't see the Knicks with a trophy in their fucking banners.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit, Donovan. That's personal.
I damn sure don't see the Hawks with a trophy in their banners this year.
I shouldn't have said shit.
The Lakers might not even make the playoffs. Like, let's move on.
I shouldn't have said shit.
Yeah. Just get cooked for no reason.
It's like that fucking when you have a roast session as a kid. So, I don't know. You ain't laughing.
Yeah. Exactly. I remember at the beginning of the season, bro. I remember at the beginning of the season when LeBron I think what happened when they were facing off against the Nuggets. LeBron was like, "You guys know I'm a point guard, right?" And they were just running Austin Reeves heavy pick and roll and shit like that, and just having LeBron try to force old man LeBron to play old man basketball early, which made sense. Yeah, I like C. The more I talk about it, I like C.
Darvin Ham's probably the most disappointing thing in the NBA this year. Putting player, coach, staff, whatever you want to do, like any form of NBA part, Darvin Ham's probably the most disappointing you can imagine. Like, from how good of a coach he was in the playoffs last year, out coaching Steve Kerr and Taylor Jenkins, like he had a legitimately good adjustments in the playoff settings. To come into this year and be like easily the worst coach outside of Adrian Griffin, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Not having an identity until like halfway the season's over and you don't even make any monumental changes to your roster is embarrassing as fuck. And if they would have committed to this at the start of the season, they're probably like at 50 wins already by this time, or at least around Dallas Mavericks range, which I guess is like 50 wins, you know? Same shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely malpractice that they're not at least at like a 6 seed.
Tragic.
But what are you going to do? All right, what's your next team, Donovan?
Let's do it. Let's talk about the New York Knicks real quick.
Let's hit all of our faves.
Let's do it. I want to go about B- to C+ for the Knicks.
Really? I was going to go A.
Yeah, wow.
The only reason why I would go B- is just because the injuries towards the end of this, I guess, like since OG's been out, since Randall has been out, it's been very, very tough for Brunson to really like carry everybody. Like the Knicks were on pace to get the 2 seed, and then everybody kind of got hurt, and then they fell back into the pack. And if you're looking at the standings right now, they're tied with Orlando. They had a bad loss to Miami last night. They're 2 games up on Miami. Hopefully, right, they can keep going. They've lost 3 in a row. I think that all the hope for them in the playoffs and building towards a legitimate playoff run without OG, without Randall, that's really killed a lot of that momentum. So if those guys are still there, I would give them an A. And if we're talking about building for the future, I would still give them an A. But the way that the season has played out over this last, 20-something games, there's been some highs and there's been some real lows. I'm going to give them a B.
Okay.
I understand that. I try not to fault teams too much for just dealing with injuries. Yeah. You know, like when I think of lowering teams' grades, I try to think of it like, is there a failure because of them or is it just unluckiness? And I think it's a general thing that people in NBA discourse don't really do. People like commonly blame for just the outcome, even if the outcome is injuries, which is, purely luck. And I think when you're a team like them who are firmly mid as fuck and you can make moves to be a team with a legit ceiling, that's an effective year to me.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I would want to give them an A because through all the injuries that they face, they just keep on finding ways to evolve as a team and get the most juice out of every single player. Like there was this stretch where Josh fucking Hart was putting up Nikola Jokic light type numbers. When I say that, he's just getting hella fucking rebounds, playmaking as much as he could. He's putting up a cool 15 points. It's just like, wow, getting as much juice from him. Deuce McBride is a real player. He wasn't shooting shit for the entirety of his NBA career until the last month, 2 months when they needed him the most. Dude was getting complete DMPs, you know? Isaiah Hartenstein, I think we all knew he was like good, valuable player, and to just be able to call him up whenever you have Mitch Robinson issues, injuries, and have that steady force is such a luxury, you know? I think they deserve an A because they've shown with a healthy OG Anunoby especially that when everyone is there, is present, is in attendance, that they are one of the more scarier teams in the Eastern Conference. And I think I also give them an A based off of like my expectation of them. It was not a lot lower, but it was lower than yours, Donovan's, of course. And to see them outpace that to such levels to where like, I'm like, yo, I feel like they can upset a team if they're like absolutely healthy in the Eastern Conference. That's special. And I think they deserve an A.
Yeah. I think like someone like the Cavs, we fault them because their injuries have put them in a situation where they don't have an identity. And even when healthy, we don't really know what to project for them. That's why the injuries hurt them. I don't really feel that way for the Knicks. I think we saw enough sample size that when they're healthy, they know exactly who they are. They have a ceiling defensively that makes them scary in a playoff setting. They were top of the league in turnover percentage, top of the league in defensive rating, top of the league in rebounding, top of the league in all these key stats that give them advantages that are very clear and we know what to expect from them. That's enough to me to not ding them too much for being hurt.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think just like the way that the OG injury was kind of handled, like originally they were like, okay, he's going to be out a couple of days. And then it was like the reporting around
he's dead.
The reporting around that was very, very weird. Even the Randall stuff, like I saw today, you know, I forgot what like account tweeted out, but they were saying that Randall honestly like probably should have gotten surgery whenever the injury happened. He was trying to wait and see if he could heal it naturally. So it's not looking great for them. Again, I think for the future, if you're talking about Leon Rose's year, I think he had an amazing year. Getting off RJ Barrett's contract, bringing in OG Anunoby, right? Signing him for the future. Also, Jalen Brunson. Individually, a lot of Knicks had really, really good years. But as a team, when you're looking at them and the way that they look right now, it's like, it's good, but it's not the full thing.
I think you're a little sad right now. That's all it is.
You know.
You know feelings. You're talking about see you guys in June. Let's go ahead and start you try to take away my get me out of the hood fund for your goddamn get Knicks finals tickets, bro. Like that's ridiculous.
It was supposed to happen.
I'm sad that it happened this way, but I'm happy you got humbled.
But
all right, move on to the next team. Let's go back to the Western Conference. How are we grading the Mavericks? Obviously an interesting team that started very, very mediocre, as expected coming into the year, made legit moves, and are fantastic now. Dark horse to make it out of the Western Conference. Luka's ascending to being a clear-cut top 3 player in the NBA, I think. However you feel about that. He finally has a strong cast around him. Kyrie's fitting beautifully. They have a legit front court. Jason Kidd isn't torpedoing them right now. He's finally figuring out how he wants to deploy that versatile front court. Things are going well. Do they deserve an A?
They deserve an A for how they turned around the ship. Before the trade, they were like 29 and 23. Post-trade, they're like over 15, 16 games over 500. That is ridiculous.
You know how impressive it is? I just mentioned that we have an unprecedented level of success in the Western Conference and how it's impossible to get out of the play-in tournament range. They did it. They're in the 5 seed now. They found a way to get out of it by just winning a million games in a row. Like that alone, knowing the competitiveness out there this year and to blitz the league this hard in the second half of the season, immense accomplishment.
Yeah, I think the fact that you're winning games is fantastic. The fact that you drafted a rookie, an impact rookie in Derek Lively, and he's able to play like meaningful minutes for you guys, that's great. The fact that Luka has ascended to now being in legitimate conversations about, is he the best player in the world? Another check for you guys. The fact that the Dallas Mavericks have been able to get the most consistent basketball stretch from Kyrie Irving in years.
Yeah.
That's another check. And arguably the best that we've ever seen Kyrie. Like, this has been a success of a season. And like you said, Isaac, they are a major, major threat to make the Western Conference Finals and to do that again. So, A for me.
And they've addressed so many weaknesses too.
Yes. Like something that I really respect is, real quick, teams like them understanding that they fucked up and immediately righting their wrongs, aka like getting Grant Williams the fuck up out of here.
Yeah. And there's just so many things. Like, people always blame Luka for having a slow pace and saying that, that's a flaw and whatnot. They're sixth in pace this year. They're playing to Kyrie Irving's pace, who's being incredibly quick. Luka's matched that. Clearly something he's improved upon. They said he couldn't play next to other star ball handlers. He ran Jalen Brunson out of town. It's his fault the Kristaps Porzingis thing didn't work. Kyrie Irving's thriving as a player who's best with the ball in his hands. Well, maybe that's unfair because Kyrie's a fantastic off ball. But, he's a point guard.
Fair.
Still thrives next to Luka. Neither one of them hurt each other at all. They have, I think, like a plus 5.5 net rating when they're both on the court. Something fantastic. They are third best in turnover percentage. They are seventh highest in effective field goal percentage. All these things that clear signs that they've improved, fix a lot of flaws as a team. What's the biggest weakness right now in the playoff setting? What are you most scared of from a team as them?
I think it's just their defense at times, which is normal. That's still like, I don't want to say a clear weakness, but it's still something that's like, okay, when it matters the most, who are your elite point of attack defenders? Who are your stoppers? Who's gonna
Dante motherfucking Exum? He's healthy again.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Dante Exum. His career trajectory is fucking insane, bro. But I mean,
yeah,
that doesn't sound good though when you like say that out loud. It's like Dante Exum is my savior.
Yeah, he's underrated. He's good. They're seventh in defense over the last 15 games. Mm-hmm. They have a legitimately really good interior defense now. Daniel Gafford's blocking shots. We know Derek Lively is like. PJ Washington has been a godsend there. I said he should be their Aaron Gordon. He's not Aaron Gordon. Not many people are, but defensively, he's filling that role. Now, offensively, he's not catching lobs, not hitting corner threes like we want him to, but he's helped their defense as much as we could have hoped he would.
Yeah, I agree. He's not an absolute zero like we've seen in the past. Grant Williams.
Bro, I'm all in on the Mavs. I keep saying it every time we touch a mic. I said it in the last stream. I think they're going to make the conference finals. I think, assuming that the bracket works out that way, we're going to see them versus the Nuggets in the conference finals.
We will see, man. We will see. I love the Mavs.
A+.
You giving him A, Donovan?
Huh?
What are you giving him?
Yeah, listen, I'm fighting for my life over here. I just took a sip of whatever I was drinking on. I texted you guys earlier saying that I had another case of a hiccup. This is awful. I'm fighting for my life here.
That hiccup was so bitch made. That was hilarious.
You don't sneeze like a man.
You guys don't
hear
me talk for like 5 minutes.
What do you do?
Please understand why. God,
dude, that was the funniest fucking hiccup I've ever heard. Mid-sentence. You sound like Goofy.
Bro, I'm going through it. So bad right now.
I thought your lungs were going to jump out of your chest, man. Damn, you scared me for a second.
Listen, I'll be back. I need to get a drink
or
something.
Go ahead and get a swig, man.
Crazy.
Let's head to commercial break. Let's take a break. We're about halfway through all these teams we're going to talk about. Let's step over to producer corner. Nikhil, what do you got for us today?
Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
Let's talk about the geopolitical climate.
Yeah, exactly. No, I actually do want to talk about.
Let's talk about trade routes.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about that, sadly. But
nah.
I did want. Donna, who's they?
Them, the people over there.
Exactly. they don't want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about is something kind of a social issue that's been on my mind. And Isaac, I know you're a little passionate about this.
Okay.
Yeah. Isaac,
I'm having the absolute worst pod ever because I just spilled water all over myself. This is not how I thought this was going to go.
This is your flu game right now. Embrace it.
The hiccup game. If y'all are still here, comment, Donovan is so brave for the hiccups or something like that. Comment about his hiccups. Prayers for Donovan's hiccups. Comment that.
I'm not having a good time right now. I'm sorry, Nikhil.
Bro, you're good. I thought you were about to walk off.
Do you want to change your pants?
No, my pants are fine. It's my jacket.
Okay.
R.I.P. Right, what social issue you want to talk about, Nikhil?
Too hard.
You do got that shit on.
Nice.
Yeah, so I want to talk about, have we as a society, are we thinking too critically now about media? Like do people know how to enjoy themselves, have fun when they watch something? Anything? We can talk about the NBA. We can talk about players going off. People, hop on Twitter and all they can do is complain about oh, that guy's a rebound merchant, he's a stat merchant, whatever. but just in general, man, like, do people know how to have fun when watching stuff anymore?
No. The answer is no. This is the plague to NBA discourse. You said, I'm passionate about it. Correct. I think the way we talk about sports specifically, you said, do we think too critically about media? That's another conversation. I think in many aspects, people don't think critically enough about like art. But in sports, people only consume sports by waiting for the next player to slander. Twitter jokes and like slandering people after playoffs has taken too far of a step that now that's just like the only way people think. It's either you're the GOAT or you're shit and you get slandered. It's just a constant need to criticize, need to hate on something for like funny points. I don't know if it's a first take effect, if it's an internet effect, whatever it may be. But negativity has become far too much of NBA discourse, for sure.
Go ahead, Mo. I'm fighting for my life. I'll jump in real quick.
No, I'll say negativity in general has ruled the world for years and years and years. Entire existence. People just tend to just like veer towards that. But it's like what all this NBA Twitter has done in this context has just like exposed people and shined a brighter light of just who people really are. People are haters, bro. Like the positive side of their day is watching, I don't know, like Kevin Durant go ahead and shoot 2 for 17 in a critical playoff game. And some 15-year-old dude on Twitter is going to go home. He just found out he failed his math test. Goddamn, he hates his life, bro. He's just going through that life. And let me go ahead and fire off these KD memes. Let me go ahead and fire off these LeBron legacy memes about his hairline or whatever the hell it is. It's just like, it's the easiest way. It's projecting. It's the easiest way to go ahead and like put that pressure off of yourself and let it be an escape. Hate is an escape for a lot of people. Genuine hate.
I also think it's a bit of part of it is like an internet issue. Like you're right, there's inherently some negativity that comes to people in general. But a big part of it in sports media is like an internet effect of like everybody wants to either be funny or smart. There's a common thing of social media is quickly going from where you go to post socially and communicate with friends and people around you to now everybody's making content. Everything on Twitter, anything on TikTok is just like people are having to make content. That's what posts on social have become. And because of that, people either want to get laughs off and be funny and get retweets, or be smart and be an analyst and be like, I see past this. I see that this guy actually stinks. He actually doesn't win winning basketball because I got to have the smartest take in the room. You guys are overhyping Luka Doncic. He's actually a ball hog and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like a need to be different and need to be superior, whether it be for humor, for entertainment, for whatever. That just leads to people doing too much.
Sounds like
I think like negativity. This is ridiculous.
Keep going, fight through it. Keep your composure. You got it.
Okay,
cutie pie.
I believe in you.
Cutie pie.
So I think negativity and not thinking critically are two different things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think like negativity obviously is one thing, but I think the not thinking critically is like, that's where Isaac is talking about, like trying to be like the smartest player or the smartest person in the room at all times, because there is some times where, and like you have this meme pulled up right now where it's like, there's some players in the league where you watch them and you kind of like over hate them. And I know that I do this sometimes too. I think specifically with Giannis, where I'm like, he doesn't have a bag, da da da. It's partially because it's like fun and it's funny to me, but like he's also one of the 3 best players in the world. And so I think like as long as you have a baseline acknowledgement of like I'm doing this purely for jokes, then that's kind of okay. But like the problem is the jokes get said so often.
Exactly.
Right? The joke, like everybody is saying the same joke.
People start
because
to believe
everybody's fighting for the same retweet, and then that joke becomes reality or perception.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
We have people go on here, and Anthony Davis gets hurt a lot, and they're like, day-to-day Davis, blah, blah, blah. Shaq's on TV being like, street clothes. And like these jokes about him being unavailable and being soft because of it become the prevailing narrative. Now, if you talk to any casual NBA fan, go ask your older brother, your dad, whatever, mention the Lakers, mention Anthony Davis. And if they don't really keep up like that, they'll be like, they got to trade him. He's too soft. He's too weak. He doesn't give LeBron the help he needs. Obviously, that's not really the case. Whilst it's rooted in reality to some extent, his lack of availability has hurt him in the past. He's not a soft player, right? The same thing applies to Rudy Gobert. the jokes were that like he can't defend anything. Terrence Mann hit 1,000,000 threes and kicked him out of the league. Terrence Mann exposed him. Obviously, that was a team. They decided to leave him open. That's nothing to do with Rudy Gobert's ability to guard the perimeter. But the jokes become reality. Luka Doncic doesn't make the play-in tournament. And like, oh, is he just James Harden? Obviously, the team had the worst defense in the league post-trade deadline. It had nothing to do with Luka Doncic not being good enough. But that becomes a reality until he proves otherwise. You know, like all these things that started jokes, like Donovan said, that Giannis having no bag, become prevailing narratives because people see it so much and don't have the ability to decipher when people are joking when they're not.
Yeah. And aside from basketball, like in media, I think in movies, some people try to be too critical. I think in music, it's a very big problem where people don't like think about music at all.
So
I think music is cooked for a lot of people because you're just gonna come on here. I remember Isaac, like we were having in one of our chats, we were having this conversation like 2 days ago where we were talking about Drake for like the 11 millionth time and just saying like what people think on night one in the first 30 minutes of listening to the album, when the album is 45 minutes, that ends up being what they think about the project. And you don't live with the album anymore. You don't live with the music, and like that's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Like so
there's a weird move online to like anti-intellectualism in a lot of stuff. And people like see this graphic you pulled up is funny in an NBA context, but in a wider media context, the short form brain that everybody has because of TikTok has made people think that people that think hard about things and intellectualize art are like dorks and doing too much in a way that is like hurt discourse around a lot of things. Like Donovan said about movies. I don't remember exactly what you said, but movies, when people have strong opinions, they're like, oh, this film, bro. When really they're just like engaging with the art in front of them.
Okay,
Same thing in music, but that's an issue.
That's actually the reason why I brought this up. I've been rewatching like random superhero movies. And so I was rewatching Spider-Man No Way Home. And I had like my thoughts about the movie, but just rewatching it, I was like, dude, if you just kind of turn your brain off and just enjoy the fact that like it's just nostalgic, it's just a great movie to watch, like just to pass time. Like you can enjoy it without having to like immediately dissect and like criticize the MCU or whatever. And I feel like sometimes people just, it's like they want to get that negative take off, and like they just kind of like want,
for sure, yeah.
And it kind of it's like, can you just enjoy something for once? Like we can talk about it later, but like, you know, just watch.
Yeah, a bit different of a conversation there because that's at the point of like, what standards do you have for every piece of art? Like, are you consuming this as the same standards as you would No Country for Old Men?
Yeah,
or are you understanding it's a fucking Marvel movie, you should have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this conversation is super interesting. And what makes like all this super apparent is like if back when we were like 13, 12 years old, or back to the older adults who were like 20 years old and Twitter wasn't really like a prevalent thing, these issues like weren't really seen because you just don't have these types of conversations often in real life, you know, and and if you do, you very quickly like, you know, deter yourself away from that person or that group or whatever. And now that it's all down your face, it's hard to like escape this shit. And now your perception is just like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Why
now
you
they get
dying?
a mouthful. Now it's going down your throat. It's hard to escape it. I get it.
Now you just can't escape it because it's just everywhere, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. You're right. That's a good point. That people being chronically online has made discoursing, people like, it's like discourse squared. People are discoursing about discourse.
That's what
like
college was though. That's what all of our groups were, bro. We would,
and that's what happens in college is that you have people like, college is one of the first times where like you're off on your own and you're starting to like be an adult and you think that you know everything about the world after living in a dorm for 2 months. And you're like, well, actually that, you know, you start going off on all of these tangents and you look back 3 years later and it's like, yeah, I was actually stupid as hell. Like I actually didn't know anything that I was talking about.
Okay. Yes. But we stayed up till like 5 a.m. Putting Drake songs in a bracket. Like when else are you going to do that?
And that's stupid. Like,
but that's fine though. That's
no, like
that's
it's fine. It's fine.
Intellectually curious. That's fine.
It was fun.
But like, if you are like actually thinking, I think like if you go back and you think about half the takes that you had in college like 3 years ago, how many of those would you change right now?
I'm LeVar Ball.
Huh.
Never wrong.
Okay.
No, I know what you mean. There's definitely a point of intellectual curiosity that develops, and when that first develops, you don't quite know where to point it yet, and you think really hard and really big, and you're really full of yourself, and then you realize down the line that like there's a balance there necessary.
So if I could just play devil's advocate real quick, the duality of the thing, it's like that. Like you definitely see those types of people in college.
People learn. That's the point. They learn about
they learn about the negativity
fallacies.
side.
Yeah.
You realize that this part of it is true. Part of it you need to not be. This is gonna become a very different conversation pretty soon. So I guess we'll leave this here. We can move on. But like, you're right.
Touch fucking grass, Nikhil. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, Mo
was like, damn, can we talk about the Hawks?
Mo, when I look at you, I think that they just give anyone a mic.
You think everyone just has too many opinions?
Exactly.
We need to take away people's ability to fucking have internet, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Close Guitar Center, close Amazon, no more podcast mics.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the closing statement.
That's fine. That's a good producer corner. We can move on back to the grades and finish this out. You know what, Mo? You're up next. Tell us about the Atlanta Hawks. What grade are you giving the Atlanta Hawks this year?
We can go ahead and keep this shit short. I mean, keep it long. I would give them an F if it wasn't for like Jalen Johnson like appearing and him being empowered by Quinn Snyder. So shout out to him. Onyeka Okongwu has been shooting threes when he was healthy. So or later on down the line he was, but outside of that, nothing else looks really encouraging. I mean, Trae Young is Trae Young. DeJounte Murray is talented, but not in the ways that we need him. This team deserves a D, bro. Strictly off of
talented, but not in the way that we need him. I gotta think about that for a second. That's a good one.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, that's a smooth F. This team is just shit. No bright future ahead of them. All their wings that they flank their star guard with haven't panned out. Besides Jalen Johnson, now they don't have a good defense. Don't have a good offense. We don't know if the two best players can coexist. We don't know if either of them can demand a trade haul that makes it worth it so they can really rebuild and contend again. Just they're downright terrible. They're in a terrible position.
We thought that they were going to be one of the top 6 teams in the conference, and they are 2 months away from a full rebuild. This is an F.
Yeah, it's pretty damning to be like this mid over the last like 4 years, or 3 years, I would say, really. You just made absolutely no traction. All the pieces that you envisioned being empowered and growing alongside Trae Young, which are like John Collins, role player. He's on the Utah Jazz. He just got concussed a couple weeks ago by Anthony Edwards. Having an okay season. No one talks about him anymore. Kevin Huerter, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? No one really talks about him anymore either. Good player, but he should never be considered a part of a fucking core. And he was for the Atlanta Hawks. So it just goes to show how poorly ran this front office is from like head to toe.
Bro, they made a conference finals in 2021. And don't forget, we were talking about them as having the best young core in the NBA. We were like, oh my God, this is how you do it. People were like, the Dallas Mavericks did such a worse job building around their stars than the Hawks did. Like, people had hopes for this team and this core. People thought DeAndre Hunter would develop into something nice. John Collins was getting better. They thought Kevin Huerter was going to be Klay Thompson to Trae Young, Steph Curry. There was high-ass hopes.
That hurts the most. Cam Reddish being fucking ass hurts, bro. He had grown men out here, aka me, being like, Cam fam, on goddamn Twitter, bro. Shit sucks.
Well, that was crazy. You need to reevaluate yourself for that one.
It wasn't me. It was all at Duke University and people who watched Cam back when he was in fucking high school, bro. It's sad.
Yeah, if you watched him at Duke, you wouldn't have thought quite the same.
You don't know real ball.
Yeah, man. We can move on. The biggest F tier. Your life sucks right now.
Shut up. Your life sucks. Me projecting.
Let's move back to the Western Conference. What do you guys want to grade the Pelicans as?
Gotta be an A, honestly. I think. Okay. I think that they have. They've come together and kind of proven a lot of people wrong, and they have been much better than expected. And for them to be in the top 6, have Zion also take this leap and have a full year, I think that alone is a massive win for them.
Yeah, I'll go B, though. I think they've done a lot with what they have, but in a similar way to what we're talking about with the Cavs, like how much do we balance what they did in the regular season plus what we think about them going to the playoff setting, what they proved to us? I think if you look at that first half, what they did in the regular season, really high. We can give them an A. But if you look at them in a playoff setting, they still have those weaknesses. Jonas Valanciunas is still a big problem that they haven't addressed. Don't even know if they want to. Willie Green clearly doesn't like playing him anymore, but the front office didn't view it as a thing they had to address in the trade deadline. They still have some of those flaws we talked about. They've just managed to be good in the regular season despite of it. But the flaws are still apparent. They still have either a big, slow, lumbering big in Jonas Valanciunas who hurts their defense, or Larry Nance, who's one of the worst offensive players in a rotation that hurts their rebounding a lot. It's not a lot of good options there.
Counterpoint, Herb Jones is amazing.
Herb Jones is a god. I love Herb Jones and Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the growth of two young wings for your team alongside a star that has finally once again been able to play for you, which has been a major issue over the last 4 years. So I think it's a massive win for them.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I'll probably go B or B plus, but I'm not mad at an A. I just don't. I want to reserve A for people that don't have a lot of questions about them yet, and they still have their flaws that Pelican fans will tell you about.
Yeah, I want to give them an A because I'm they shouldn't be this good. But at the same time, looking back at our season predictions, I think Isaac and I had them at a 7th seed, and you had them way lower than that, not even because of health issues or whatever.
I had them at 12 because I thought Zion was going to get hurt again.
That's hilarious.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah,
facts.
But
yeah, they're 6 though. We thought they'd be 7. They're 6. Which granted, they're the Mavs are just going insane, but they're 45-30. They're pretty great. I didn't think they'd win 50 games.
Exactly. This is a very successful season, but I can't give them an A because there's no clear direct pathway to they don't have to make any more moves. They're still figuring out that needs to be done. I think their identity still needs to be catered even more towards Zion Williamson. There's some roster construction issues as well, so I can't give them an A like I would the Oklahoma City Thunder or any other A-list team that we named. So B is for sure a fair point for them.
They've proven to have a really high floor because they're coached so well, but I think they still need to make a move to have the ceiling there of they can make a conference finals or win a championship.
Exactly. I agree.
Solid B. Okay. Going over the Eastern Conference, what do we want to rate the Miami Heat?
C. What has happened? What have they done? Their offense is hasn't changed in 3-4 years, it feels nothing developed. So it's
I saw a comment that said, why is the Miami Heat section always the shortest one? I think we should give them a C and move on. Let's keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. They don't care until April anyway, so we don't care. We don't care about
exactly.
them.
We'll talk about them in a playoff setting. Fuck out of here. What do you guys going to rate the Pacers?
They might be a B. They should be a B.
Interesting. They're the 7th seed, 43-34. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton had an insane start to the year. They're still the second offense overall for the season, despite Tyrese Halliburton's struggles. Made the move Pascal Siakam. That's objectively a good move to help them, have a long-term ceiling. Still a bit up and down, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it has to be a net positive, though. If you talk about the Pacers, I would give them probably a B, just because even with I guess they fell into the play-in, but they're fighting for a top 6 seed with the injury of Tyrese, and we saw that whenever he was healthy, he was one of the best 4 point guards in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably give them the B because they figured out a lot of things as the season went on. Of course, winning hasn't been there as much as you'd want it to be, but their identity is still forming. Trading for Pascal Siakam was still a great move, even though they haven't produced on the court to the level we all wanted them to. Aaron Nesmith, a lot of people don't know and don't really care, but he's quickly moving to be one of the best 3-and-D role players in the entire NBA. Miles Turner is still Miles Turner. I said Aaron Nesmith. Andrew Nembhard is a fantastic 2-guard to place alongside Tyrese Halliburton. There's still things that need to be figured out with this team and this roster, but I know who they are, I know what they can be, and it's just a time thing for them. So I feel I want to give them a B. They haven't disappointed. The only disappointment that's been there is Tyrese being injured. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a ton of thoughts about the Pacers, so I'll trust y'all on that. We can move on. The Sacramento Kings. roughly who they were last year, despite basically they had more injuries this year, and the clutch numbers that were ridiculous last year fell off. So they went to the 7th seed, 44-31, won 48 games last year. Will probably be roughly around the same mark, but the league got better. They didn't, as you guys have mentioned. De'Aaron Fox has been. I saw a Kings fan I follow on TikTok say that he's the most inconsistent inconsistent star player in the league. Facts. Domantas Sabonis has been awesome, but outside of that, inconsistency is probably the word to describe their season. Is that a C?
I'm giving them a D.
There. Woo!
A D, okay.
D.
Explain. Elaborate.
I think that the Kings have the things that they wanted to base their season on, which was the continuity. We've seen that it has taken them from a top 3 seed to now in the play-in, and their defense, which is obviously like not as bad as it was last year, still not amazing. And it's like when you are not the best offense in the league, it's a problem. And they are wildly inconsistent for a team that is roughly going to have the same amount of wins that they did last year. I don't know from a night-to-night basis what I'm getting from the Kings. And you still have fundamental issues with Sabonis. You just said everything about De'Aaron Fox being inconsistent. I don't know what the Kings are. I know you're laughing. I'm about to throw this mic away. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. But the question is, what's the expectations for the Kings, right? Because like they've been so asked. I think they're still kind of in the point where like being a good team is good, right? Like they have such a downtrodden past 20 years that like 2 years in a row being a good playoff team, like none of us expected them to be contenders. No one thought they were going to be out here making the conference finals. None of us had faith in Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox to be a championship nucleus. So they've kind of been who they are. It's a solid team, and we know how the Western Conference is, that one day you can be the 3 seed, next day you can be the 7 seed. It's so close and so tough. Maybe that's just they're doing what was expected of them.
Well, yeah, I think that this season has been a clear sign of regression from them rather than it's been a combination of the rest of the league got better and the rest of the conference is better, and you guys didn't really make any moves. Yeah. It's been a combination of that, and on a night-to-night basis, you guys just are worse than what you were last year. So that's an issue.
People in their front office and coaching staff were yelling the growth that we're going to see as a team, the additions that we're going to be making as a team is development from our young guys, and that they just basically like bit way too much off than they can actually chew. And now they're just like, along with they were one of the more healthiest. They were the healthiest team in the NBA last season. Don't have that luck, sadly, anymore. And now they're just scratching, clawing, and fighting, and they're looking for the next jolt of energy, the next counterattack, the next someone who can give them another. They're looking for the next tool to use. And Keon Ellis is that. And I said that's as in a joking way a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was like 2 months ago or so. Like, I don't know what else this team can have or use as an advantage that might, like give them another edge in a different way. And Keon Ellis is that. He's a defensive menace and he just has immense impact. But this is just fucking Keon Ellis. Like, with him as a starter, they have like an 11-3 record, which is impressive. But at the end of the day, it's still Keon Ellis. So it's like, this is just the most. They deserve a C. They deserve a C straight up.
There we go. C it is, I guess. Donovan said D. C-.
Let's do it.
Next team, the Phoenix Suns. How do we feel about the Phoenix Suns?
F.
Because they are obviously a team that had a lot of expectations, made a big trade. You have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker, 2 top 10, top 11 or so players. You should be really good. They are firmly in the 8th seed right now. Actually, they're tied with the Kings for 7-8. We'll see how that shakes out. They are ninth in offensive rating for the year. They have the 6th worst turnover percentage and 4th in free throw rate. I'm looking at these stats we have prepared. Just they are who we thought they were. They're a team built on jump shooters in a negative way. If you were a person that hated on them and you decided that the Bradley Beal trade wasn't the smartest move in the world, they have duplicative skill sets that don't help each other. No elite passers, no super strong defenders, lack of size. Kevin Durant, your really important size piece there. Your rebounding is going to be poor. The passing lack of skill there leads to turnovers. Like, all the negatives kind of played out in the way you'd think they would.
Yeah,
they are in the trenches, bro.
I agree. I would give them an F for this year because I really would, because
you're so right.
Yeah.
Even though that that like I think all three of us kind of had ideas about them and their playoff ceiling. We all thought at the bare minimum, this style of basketball and this collection of talent should work in the regular season. Facts. And the fact that you are fighting for your playoff life and you are, in the 8th seed and could potentially move down to 9 depending on how the rest of the year goes, that's a problem. And I know that they've gone with a lot of injuries in and out throughout the season. It hasn't been great for Phoenix this year. I think unless they win a championship, this year is a failure.
You don't move heaven and earth, aka all your picks, assets, and remaining young players to be fighting for your life. They have the next available draft pick that they have control of comes in the year like 2031. That's disgusting. If you make all these types of moves, you better be a fucking top 1, 2, or 3 seed. And they've been obviously far below that. If I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, I am sick to my stomach, throwing up everywhere because A, you guys aren't looking great right now, and also B, things are just literally going to get worse as time goes on because you don't have any picks, no real young players other than who? Fucking Bol and Nazir Little. You know what I'm saying? Grayson Allen's going to get a fucking bag in the offseason. KD is 35, 36 years old. He's only going to get older. Devin Booker's there, you know what I'm saying? And then Bradley Beal, you're cap locked into him until the year 2027 when his contract is over. They're in fucking hell right now.
They're actually 5th in rebound percentage. I misspoke earlier. I thought they were bad at rebounding. They've actually gotten a lot better since early in the season. They're 5th in rebound percentage overall.
And they're still
they're 13th in defensive rating for the season. That is perfectly fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's passable for a team that's, super team construction with 3 stars. But you got to be higher than 9th in defense. It's like what we talked about with the Bucks, how early in the season they were like a top 3 offense and their defense was atrocious. We were like, just get to mediocre. Get to 13th, 12th, 11th, something like that, and you're good enough. Every offensive leading team we've seen in the past win a championship has been around there usually. So the Suns had did their job on that side, putting the necessary role players around their stars to defend at a decent enough level. But, the nucleus of stars hasn't worked out as we hoped. 9th in offense just isn't good enough. You got to be truly high-powered if you build around this type of talent.
Matt Ishbia, Tombstone, pile drive their team into fucking hell, bro. His impatience is what killed all the momentum, the most momentum that Phoenix Suns fans have seen since fucking 2009, 2010, bro. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, the annoying part to me is, not annoying, but like concerning part, I should say, is, the last 3 years of the Suns basketball under Chris Paul, obviously they're led by Chris Paul. They don't get to the fucking rim. They were the biggest mid-range shooting team ever. Never got to the rim. They were 30th in rim frequency for 3 straight years under Chris Paul. This year, replacing Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, who at this point of his career, his greatest strength is his ability to get into the perimeter and create penetration off the dribble, get to the rim essentially. You would have hoped that would kind of fix that and make it a little bit better. And it did. But they're still just 25th in rim frequency. That's not good enough when you're a bottom 5 team in turnover percentage and aren't creating easy looks for anybody.
Your bucket getters are not getting buckets as easy as you want them to. And again, when your entire team is based off of like these 3 guys to carry everything, you really need them to be like Supermen every single night. And the fact that, and listen, first off, shout out to Grayson Allen because he's been hooping. It shouldn't come down to is Grayson Allen hooping for the Suns to be so like moving forward in the playoffs. So because that position alone makes me feel like you guys are either at a D at best or this is a failed year. Again, only righted by a championship, in my opinion.
I'll go D. I maybe D plus because I think, okay, so it's an F because when you make this type of move, you have to be really good when you have that lack of long-term outlook like Mo said. But also, it's kind of predictable. It happened. I gave them like benefit of the doubt that maybe it could work with Italian talent, but we knew these concerns would be there, and it just played out that way.
Do you remember what seed you had the Phoenix Suns coming into the year?
I had them
fourth,
at 4.
maybe 3rd.
You had them 2,
3 or 4.
You had them as the 2nd seed. Yes,
Woo.
You predicted them being a
This
second
doesn't
seed.
surprise me. Doesn't surprise me because I fucking never saw the Timberwolves, Thunder, and all them coming from a mile away. So doesn't surprise me. I gave them benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like, we all genuinely believed that they were gonna be one of the more unstoppable teams on offense, and just to not be what you're supposed to hang your hat on is sad as fuck.
Fair enough.
Matt Ishbia. Oh my goodness. I just can't. I just feel so bad for Suns fans.
You know what that is? That was me looking back on it. I don't even remember being that high on them. Clearly, you pulled the receipts. Got to give them an F because I thought they would be great. I think that was mostly residual because I really believed in them the year prior when they had Chris Paul right after the KD trade. I really believed in them in last year's playoffs. Obviously, we know that ended. The fucking Jokic gauntlet came in and chewed them up. I think I had residual leftover belief from the previous year that I was willing to overlook a lot of these weaknesses that were in our face.
And you weren't wrong about that either. No one looked at you like as if you were absolutely insane. It made so much sense.
I was wrong, clearly.
Yeah, for sure. We were all wrong. We were all wrong like shit, bro. But just to see them this down bad, where I say it as if they're like literally like the 10th or 9th seed. They're not better than that, of course, but not much better. They should be that considering where expectations were. And the only reason why their grade is so bad is because the expectation, what they should have been.
It's another thing though. Keep in mind, they're going to win like 48 games. The conference is weird this year. So like, again, seeding isn't everything.
True. But there's the context behind how they're getting that 48 is like,
exactly.
That's
yeah.
a real alarming thing.
I understand that. Okay. Golden State Warriors. What are we going to grade America's team, the team that gets the most clicks on every social post that people are going to click to this timestamp to watch? What are we grading the Golden State Warriors?
You know we have to give them an F. You know we have to give them an F.
Really?
Draymond Green. Listen, we have seen
break it down.
We've seen the complete fall off of Klay Thompson. We have seen Draymond Green miss so many games because he has incited violence on the floor.
That's a funny way to put it.
We have seen
sound like you're sentencing him to 50 years in jail right now.
I'm sorry. Listen, we've seen inconsistencies from Steph Curry. And once again, we talk about the Suns fighting for their life. The Houston Rockets are right on the Warriors' tail. And there is still a major possibility that they miss the play-in. This is not a good season for them. Steph Curry was crying on the floor the other night.
Damn.
We're in April, and he's crying on the floor because the situation is so bad. It's not a good year.
No, I'll go F. The biggest reason for me is, when you have Steph Curry and you have to maximize the years he has left, you're obviously in win now mode anytime he's on the court. And they have him looking washed the past 2 months because his life is so motherfucking difficult with the lineups they can put out there right now. He has no creation around him. They put Draymond at center, which has done a lot to help compared to what they were early in the year, because now they have that release valve and one less non-spacer on the floor. But like the players that we're looking at to do better and help him and be release valves whenever teams throw hard doubles at him, Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, these young guys are young guys. These shouldn't be the people we're looking at and like praying for them to give Steph Curry help. Like, he's in such a hard position for an older, aging point guard that he has to be Superman like he was in 2021, 2022. He just can't do that every night anymore. He's getting older. It's hard. If he has a cold shooting stretch like he has as of late, the team fucking suffers because of it. And it's not fair to him to have him be in the situation at this point of his career.
And you know what that is? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Look at the Golden State Warriors facing the consequences of their actions. What a shame. This is just them, facing how badly they handled all these past NBA drafts, not bringing in real quality players on a consistent basis, while also Steve Kerr not developing these players in a timely manner. You shouldn't have Jonathan Kuminga come out to public and be like, yo, I deserve more minutes, and then embarrass your head coach by absolutely killing him whenever he does get the minutes. And then Moses Moody does the same thing like 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, and still hasn't had that opportunity. But, like, just the fact that you have to go through that just makes things so much worse. So it's foreseen. I wish I would have saw this coming. You already fucking hated them coming into the year, Isaac. Kudos to you for predicting that. And
did I?
Yeah, you weren't high on them.
No, I didn't like them, but I still project them to be a good record, right? Didn't I say they'd be like the 5 seed?
Yeah, you liked them coming into the year, but once you saw the first 2-3 weeks of them, you're like, this team ain't fucking it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were writing Chris Paul and the effect that he had, which was, and I was one of those players or people, bro, just like.
Oh, yeah. I never bought into the Chris Paul bullshit. I remember that was the week we had Kenny on the pod. And obviously, Kenny's a big Chris Paul fan. And I was like, listen, he's playing good the first week. You can have it. I never believed in that bullshit.
Yeah, like that effect just wore off completely. So
yeah, I assumed they'd just be a good regular season team again. I didn't think they'd make a playoff splash by any means, but I figured they'd win games like they usually do. Like they have usually a high floor, and they have in the second half of the season. They were like, it's outdated now by a few games, but for a while they were 21-10 over the previous 31 games. They are very solid now. They're better now that they have Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond Green as a front court. But it's like the Lakers, they waited way too long to get there, and overall it's been very disappointing. I figured they'd be like what they had been in the second half of the year for the whole year, and the regular season wins would come, and then they get clapped by the Lakers or something in the playoffs again like they did last year.
Yeah. You got to pick a struggle, bro. You can't have your head coach make very questionable decisions early into the season, start to play TJD, Trace Jackson,
your
Davis,
boy.
Shout out your hero.
I mean, he's nice. What can I say? You guys see these highlights right now? 18-9. That's classic basketball.
How do you know every
he just gave up a dunk by Mo Wagner.
Yeah, I mean,
Mo Wagner just blew by him.
Yeah. All right, let's relax.
No, I'm kidding. He slipped a pick and roll that TJD didn't do a great job playing because he has lead feet, but I understand.
Yeah, bro. Like I was saying, they just got to pick a struggle. You can't have your head coach make poor decisions in terms of like finding their identity and not evolving fast enough. You can't. Damn, that was nasty. And then you
free Moses Moody, man. He's good. He needs real opportunity.
It's disgusting.
Make him a Raptor. Make him a Raptor or something.
Yeah, I agree. This team deserves an F or a D or whatever you guys want to rock with. I'm down.
Okay, we only got a few teams left. 76ers. How do we feel about them given Joel Embiid's injury, but domination pre that?
It honestly doesn't even feel right to grade their season.
Incomplete. You want to grade them incomplete?
Literally, they were like Joel was playing the best basketball of his career, and then he gets hurt for like 3 months. I don't know how to look at that properly.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. We got to grade them like just L. Like it's sad. It just happens. Like you have an all-time great season. You're witnessing somebody clearly going to win back-to-back MVP, legitimately one of the greatest scoring seasons of all time. Your team is promising. We're flirting with like, hey, are they low-key the second best team in the conference? Like we're flirting with some takes about them. All comes crashing down because of one knee injury. You really can't learn anything about them after that because your team is so thin and so built around that one star. So it's just been like 30 games of useless information.
Exactly. Incomplete, bro. I don't know. Take your ass back to class.
L. We'll give him an L. Okay. Bulls. What you want to give the definition
F.
of mid?
C? Mid?
I mean, they've been fine. They're a playing team again. You know, they are who they are. They're exactly where you thought they'd be.
The only positive thing that I can say about the Bulls is like Kobe White is here and he's a part of that team long term. And Caruso's nice, but that ain't none that we didn't know. So just similar to the Hawks, like they did gain something positive out of the year. But
the Hawks had expectations. The Bulls did not.
Yeah, that is true. The Hawks. Well, I mean, I'm not even gonna.
The Hawks failed their mission statement of being a good team. The Bulls succeeded their mission statement of being average. And in some ways, that means it's the perfect season.
Perfect season, and you came out a little bit better than that because you have Kobe White now, who's arrived. So
they might be an A+.
Oh my God!
When you seek mid and you find mid, you succeed.
No, you're actually cooking because this is what their front office wanted to do.
This is the goal. The expressed interest of this team is to get the 8th seed every year and be in the play-in tournament, and they did that with resounding success.
I think you're actually cooking right now. Like this might be the most right you've ever been in your entire life. Like they literally.
This is precisely what they wanted.
They're waiting for Lonzo Ball to come back.
Tell me more about the Bulls and their pursuit of mid.
It's beautiful.
We've never seen someone be this successful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
3 years running. Since the play-in tournament came into success, into being, they were like, this is our time. We will be the play-in tournament team, and they've never once missed it.
They've never once
That's
missed
a dynasty of the play-in tournament.
You're disgusting, bro. Have some shame.
I would assume it was also awesome. He's dribbling the ball in this highlight. Kobe White's talked about it a lot. He's the other bright spot there. Fuck it. S++. This is the team is exactly what they sought out to be. Perfect year.
Yeah, I had assumed was homegrown too when he's still developing. Went to school at Illinois. He was a great senior or junior player or whatever. I guess you go ahead and give him an A+. Fuck it.
All right, who we got left? Houston Rockets.
What? B? A?
I think B is Fair, for sure. I won't say A because they are still figuring themselves out, clearly. But B
they were always going to be, right? Like, it was a building block year for them.
Exactly.
I think I kind of want to go A because they are on the borderline of making the play-in. They were an unserious franchise for 3 straight years. Like, money laundering level of unseriousness. Sengun is playing at an all-star level. Jalen Green has come around. Amen Thompson is popping. You have so many young prospects that look good. Dylan Brooks doesn't look like a bad contract, right? Like, this is a lot of good stuff is happening in Houston this year.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm with you. What's the goal for them this year? It was become competent and develop their players in a way that you can project them to have long-term success after the damage Stephen Silas put upon them in the last 2 years. Sengun has been empowered, is their best player. They played through him. He worked out well. Jalen Green, we thought he'd have to get traded. We thought he was a bona fide bust. He's working well now. Amen Thompson, finding a role as a rookie, he's been incredibly impactful. Jabari Smith looks really good. He looks like he's going to be a legitimately really good role player for a long time playing next to Sengun. Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet succeeded, bringing them veteran leadership and competency. That's worked. Tari Eason, look good. Cam Whitmore, look good. Top down, pretty much been a success given the standards of just being solid. They have a culture of trying hard under Ime Udoka. They've had a legit top 10 defense for most of the year, despite being so young and having a mediocre defensive center. That's a resounding success.
Exactly. I'm going A here.
You know, that you could talk me into A for sure, but everything is not figured out just yet. And
sure, but it's not supposed to be, right?
It's not supposed to be, you're right. And that was the goal. But if everything was figured out, I would go ahead and give them an A. But it's not just yet. And there's still like kinks still that need to be worked out. If Jalen Green was doing this for the entirety of the year, rating them based off the entire season, then I would be like, yeah, for sure, they deserve an A. But Jalen Green was an issue for 70% of the season still.
Yeah, if Jalen Green was doing this all year, they'd be like the 5 seed. We'd be talking about them a lot differently.
Yeah, but now doing it, like, I still give him kudos and he deserves like all the admiration in the world still. But like, he was one of the biggest talking points, one of the bigger talking points throughout the season as a young player and teams not knowing really what to do or how to evaluate him. If this was early, if he arrived earlier, I'd want to give them an A, but it's just too late for me to go ahead and give them that. So I feel comfortable with like a B plus because the identity is there. They're a serious organization now.
Okay, that's fair enough. Y'all, that concludes our grading of every single NBA team.
Wait. Did we talk about the Orlando Magic?
No.
Oh, I forgot about the Magic.
Come on.
What is the grade for the Orlando Magic?
We have to give them an A.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Elite defense. Paolo Banchero made the All-Star leap. Franz Wagner, the three-point shot is a bit iffy, right? That's holding him back from making the leap as well. But he's continued to be good, obviously, despite that. Jonathan Isaac, a godsend. Jalen Suggs, low-key the most improved player running. They've managed to get something good out of Goga Batadze and Mo Wagner in their center rotation. Still have their question marks at guard, obviously, long-term. But they build a legit foundation of winning that is real, I think, right?
Yes. Absolutely, bro. Like, they absolutely deserve an A because the foundation is there, and also there's something that like the Houston Rockets don't have. There's just like a pathway to success, and you don't have to do mental gymnastics in terms of figuring out what this team needs to reach that next level. So it's A for sure.
Exactly. And then I think we also listen to the Utah Jazz. You guys had a very nice start. You guys have done some good things this year. You've lost 10 straight, and it's getting to tanking season. So I'm going to give you guys a D, step up from F. You haven't been completely incompetent. And the Memphis Grizzlies, also want to give you guys an F, but I'm going to give you guys D because you found G.G. Jackson, you found Vince Williams, you have pieces moving forward. Good job for that.
I thought I threw those guys into the early rapid fire, but if I forgot them, there we go. Solid bad seasons. Good job, guys. The rebuild continues.
Shout out to them.
Honestly, I'm not even that low for the Grizzlies because it's a rebuild. It's a blessing in disguise. It's going to set them up really well for years going forward. But then again, you don't ever want to waste a year when you have a really great team, so can't all be all rainbows.
Yeah.
I'd be okay if you wanted to give them the B. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into showtime. Crayon Eaters, where are you at? It is your time to fucking rise and shine. Let's lock the fuck in and kill these segments.
Woo! welcome to TikTok time. We're going to begin by putting Mo on the fucking hot seat. We're going to put the spotlight on you. And we're going to play a new game where me and Donovan had to name random NBA players. But these NBA players are from a specific category that me and him know. And Mo has to try to guess what the category is. The sooner he can do it with the least players possible, the better.
Listen, whatever it is, bag category, aura, who's the best shooters, who has the best hairline, whatever it is, I got this shit on lock.
So yeah, we're just gonna.
Yeah, you're
me and
cool,
Donovan are
buddy.
just gonna keep saying players as long as we need to until Mo knows what they all have in common.
This could be
How
tragedy
prepared do you
for
feel?
Crown Eaters. I got y'all.
Okay, so real simple. Let's name random NBA players until Mo can figure out what category they come from.
Let's fucking lock in. Let's do it.
Jason Tatum,
Asar
Okay.
Thompson.
Jason
Scotty
Tatum,
Barnes,
Asar Thompson, Scotty Barnes. Okay.
Paolo Banchero.
They're forwards. Jason Tatum.
Anthony Edwards,
Anthony Edwards.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Kuminga.
Jonathan Kuminga. Do they have all? Nah. Scotty Barnes doesn't have a 48 vert. What the fuck? Okay. Keep on going.
that's so specific.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs,
Damn. Who the hell? Okay. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
LeBron James.
Okay.
You're in hell.
Bro, you put in a Thompson twin. That ruined everything for me, along with Scotty Barnes.
Dwayne Wade,
Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox? Fortnite boy? What do you want me to say at this point? They're all black? That's all I could say and have hair?
Kristaps Porzingis,
Okay, now you ruined everything. That was my only lead.
Dragan Bender.
What the fuck? We're going back to like 2013, 14, bro?
putting this man in a blender. Chet
This-
Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren. Damn. Bro, I have no correlation between Dragan Bender and fucking Jason Tatum. Did they get their ass up by
Hakeem
someone?
Olajuwon.
I am in hell. This is cruel right now. This is cruelty. Straight cruelty.
Or jumping his ass. Steph Curry.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Steph Curry.
Ricky Rubio.
Who the fuck
Kevin
are
Durant.
you guys talking to right now? That's got to be a troll. This
Johnny
gotta be a
Flynn.
troll. All right, you know what? I would choke you if you were in front of me right now. You're setting me up.
Julius Randle.
Jalen Green.
Now you're just listing NBA players. There's no way in hell all these players should belong under in one category, bruh.
DeAndre Ayton.
Zion Williamson.
Are they first round picks? That's the only correlation that I see.
You're getting warmer.
They're all first round picks. Oh, they're all in the lottery.
You're getting even warmer.
They're all top 5.
Oh, a little too warm.
They're all top 10.
Yeah.
There you go. They're all top 10
I'm
draft
in
picks.
my bag. I do this shit.
Shut up. Shut
Can't
up.
fuck with me.
Shut up. You admitted to being cooked. Shut
Fuck
up.
that. I do this shit. Fuck are you talking about? You doubted me. You doubted me. Never again.
Undefeated. Never lost.
I wish I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, nah! Oh shit. Whoops. I know.
Wait,
she
did
was
you
still
break
here.
it?
A little bit. Damn.
A
Bro,
little
that was
bit.
my crayon eater juice right there. Now I'm cooked.
That's hilarious. Listen, it took you a while, but you got there. You'll get better next time. Now you know what type of things to think about.
Bro, he said Johnny Flynn. I'm like, bro, now you're fucking with me. That was crazy.
Yeah, next time I'll be on the hot spot. I think it's a fun game.
That is crazy. You guys are
All right, next thing we're gonna do. Let's keep it gamey. I have this graphic that Nikhil can pull up. That it's one of those things, kind of like you got $15 to build the perfect team. You see this on Twitter a lot. For this one, you guys have $10 to build the perfect big three. I got categories of $5, $3, and $2. Basically, you got to pick one player from each category.
Okay.
I want to know who you guys can make as your ideal big three.
All right.
Wait.
So real simple. You got $10. Who is your big three?
Ooh.
Listen, I'm spending my money Give me the light skin. I'm taking Steph Curry with $5.
To quote my King James, give me the light skin, motherfucker.
We got $10.
I want Steph Curry as my $5 player.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll do you one better. I'll take LeBron James. I'm still building around the king.
Okay. I'm getting the value pick here. Give me Chet Holmgren for $2.
You want to start with the ancillary piece? Okay.
Yeah. Great piece. He can go with literally anybody, bro.
Okay.
You know what? Listen, I got LeBron, Slasher. I'm gonna pick Chet Holmgren as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Bam Adebayo. I'm gonna take a slight upgrade at my big, and I would take Bam.
How much of an upgrade is it? I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh,
cool.
That's spicy. No, I think it's still an upgrade. Give me Bam.
If I got LeBron, it's not an upgrade because I'd rather have the shooting next to him.
You know what? Speaking of shooting, go ahead and give me the second best shooter here. Give me Tyrese Halliburton. I need his value also on this team. My playmaking is out of the fucking universe.
Listen, are you getting today's Tyrese Halliburton or January's Tyrese Halliburton? 'Cause that's a very different player.
Is it deep voice Tyrese Halliburton or light voice Tyrese Halliburton? We got questions.
In-season tournament Tyrese Halliburton or playing tournament Tyrese Halliburton? I don't know.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Whatever it is, I'm taking my bets with you, Tyrese.
Listen, I got LeBron. I got Chet Holmgren. Easiest choice in the world. Give me Donovan Mitchell. Low key. Listen, he's closer to the best guard here than he is to the third. I'll say that.
Ooh.
Damn.
Okay. Listen, I have my point guard. I have my big man. I have my point guard. I have my big man. I need somebody right in the middle. Give me Scotty Barnes.
Over Paolo?
Yes. I want that defense.
Okay.
I like that. Your team is very versatile, bro. Playmaking is out of the fucking roof.
Mo, you haven't even picked your star yet. Which forward are you going with? Or are you going double point guard?
Double point guard. I can't do it. I believed in Tyrese since day one. I have to either go with KD or LeBron James. I think LeBron James is a better player, but KD is a more fun pick. I'm here for the children. I'm making Chet Holmgren's dreams come true. Give me Tyrese, Chet, and Kevin Durant. The OD Hezzy pool is crazy.
It's Chet's dream to play with KD.
Yeah, bro. He's one of his childhood heroes. I'm for the kids.
I guess. Has he said that before?
No. Would it be surprising? No.
You read Chet's mind.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the way he plays.
No.
He's a tall, skinny dude who likes to dribble. He must have KD influence.
Watch him be a LeBron stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got LeBron, D. Mitch, and Chet. Low-key think that's the best answer.
Yeah. That's the best, but that's the most boring. I got Tyrese Halliburton, KD, and Chet.
I have Steph Curry, Scotty Barnes, and Bam Adebayo. I like that.
That's
very
very
well-rounded.
Yeah. Imagining Bam and Scotty Barnes together is like really effective, but really not fun to watch, I think.
Bam
and you got Curry, who's the ultimate fun to watch. I don't know.
I don't care about fun. I just care about wins. And in a 3-on-3, 2K Blacktop, we're getting it.
You see, 2K Blacktop is all you're thinking about. You're one-dimensional, bro. I hit you from all 8 angles at all times, bro. I'm getting you over there through regulation.
60 strokes each angle. Don't miss an angle.
Which angle you hitting him from?
Which angle I'm hitting him from? Okay.
How you want to hit Donovan?
Okay, we're not going there, buddy. But I'm
see, we weren't even talking about that. We were talking about waves.
Yeah. That's an insider. That's crazy, bro.
Next video. Mo, I believe you have some NBA tattoos to show us.
Yes. We did this a couple months ago, actually. We last did this during the summer. A lot of you crown eaters are new here. Welcome. And a lot of you guys have been here. Congratulations. Thank you for riding with us. Today, again, I'm going to have you guys look at some historical NBA tattoos and rate them for me on a scale of 1 through 10.
Okay. What are we rating them on? How good of a tattoo it is?
Yeah, good. It depends on the player. Depends on how you're feeling at this moment right now. But how good it is, how cool it is. You know what I'm saying? 10 being like, yo, that's actually fire, creative. You know what I'm saying? And 1 obviously being, oh my God, I can't believe this is real.
All right, let's show me the garbage. Let's do it.
Let's go ahead. Rate these NBA tattoos on a scale of 1 to 10. Number 1, we got Andre Karolinko, AK-47.
Is that a dragon?
Is that a mosquito? Is that a dragonfly?
A dragon or a mosquito? This is some beast that Andre Karolinko just did randomly one day, bro. I couldn't tell you what this is. Looks like one of Satan's workers.
I was saying, is this a Dungeons and Dragons character?
I'll tell you what it is. It's ugly. This is not good. This is not good. It's too red. It looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts.
It looks like it's infected.
It looks cool. For sure. It's not one of those generic tattoos, so he immediately has to get like a 4 or a 5 off bat.
No, he doesn't. Who says? There's a lot of unique shit that's terrible. Listen, getting emoji tattoos was unique. I don't think that makes Mike Scott's tattoo a 10.
Exactly. And this is my rating, and I'm giving it a 2.
Wow. On my scale, this is a 0 because I can barely tell what it is, and I think it looks tacky.
AK-47, I've been outvoted. Sorry.
I love your game, AK-47. Don't love your tattoo game.
Yeah, nah. I agree. What's next? Next up, we got Bol Bol and his tattoo of Squidward.
Does that say loser?
Yeah, it was in an episode. It was
that's not
everything Bol Bol does perplexes me. I do not understand him as a person.
That's not even the biggest question. What part of his body is this? Is his calf really this big? Is this his forearm? Where on his body is this? Because I don't know what this is.
Yeah, this is on his calf. This is on his leg.
It looks like a turkey leg. It's ginormous. It's ginormous. It's crazy.
Does this not remind you of your childhood, the brighter days, Donovan?
It does. It reminds me of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, loaded diaper. That's what this reminds me of. This is a Diary of a Wimpy Kid tattoo. I don't think that's a good thing.
Tatting Squidward and the whole loser thing, I understand it, but it's a 0 for me, dog. It's a 0 for me, dog.
Let's think for 2 seconds before we get things tatted on our bodies. Can we do that? Right? Because I don't think Bol Bol did that.
Now
Let's see the bigger picture. Let's see the bigger picture, Bull.
Does this rating go down for you because it's Bol Bol? If this was on Wemby or Chet Holmgren, would this be higher for you?
No, not at all.
It would make me view Victor Wembanyama's future GOAT case worse.
Wow. Sorry, Bol. This tattoo is
I'll give it a 1 out of 10.
Damn, 1 out of 10. Okay.
This hurts Bol Bol's legacy.
Oh my goodness. Okay, 1 out of 10 is fair. Can't hate on it too much. What's next? Ooh, this is Kyrie Irving's Friends tattoo.
Listen, Friends is one of my favorite shows of all time. I think it is overhated. This is 10 out of 10.
It's one of the best pieces of white people culture from the 90s.
And I love it.
I don't know if I can go as far as 10 out of 10, but it's all right. Listen, I've seen some shows that I love. I don't know if I love it enough to get a tattoo of it, but if you do and that's your shit, more power to you.
Ross and Rachel were on a break, and everybody needs to understand that.
I'm going to get an Attack on Titan tattoo right here.
All right, slow down now. Maybe you're onto something. Okay, I might have to default
for
that.
Naruto.
Oh my
both
God.
arms.
Weirdo. Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll give it a 5. It's all right. It's whatever.
5? Okay, that's fair. I'll meet you guys in the middle. I'll go ahead and give this like a 7. What's next?
7 for just the Friends logo? You're generous.
It's hard.
I didn't know Kyrie was chill like this. That's actually very cool.
I mean, he just, you know what I'm saying, crosses people up, gets clutch buckets, and comes home and watch Friends with his family, bro. Like, honorable man. What can you say?
All right.
What's next? Ooh. Next up, we got Damon Stoudemire's tattoo of his grandmother on his arm.
Oh, it's his grandma. Okay, I was looking at the one that says Damon above it.
My bad, fam.
Shout out grandma. I respect it. 10 out of 10. Why is his name tattooed above that? Why does Damon have Damon on him?
In case he gets lost. Duh.
It's like a dog tag.
You don't remember your name,
in case he's at war.
Come on.
That's the fuck it. I guess that's where we'll focus on the show right there.
He's an NBA player. They have wild nights out. He needs to know who he is.
It's like Woody. They wrote Andy on his boot.
Yeah.
Damon's doing it to himself.
Do we just not carry our IDs on us anymore, man? I guess so. But
I know.
If that's the
he
case,
just loves his name. This is self-love. This is what people talk about.
You know what? And that's the best love. 10 out of 10 again, I guess.
Oh my goodness. This is what TD3 is about right here. What's next? This is the 10. Ooh, next up, this is Damon Stoudemire again. He has another tattoo of, this is not Mickey Mouse, but this is Mighty Mouse.
I don't know what that is.
Was Mighty Mouse a thing?
I believe so. And I mean, it might have been, bro. I'm
Or
not
did he just
100%
call
sure.
himself Mighty Mouse?
Is that his nickname?
Yeah. Because he's like 5'8", 5'9", I think.
If that is his nickname,
Google
then
it.
this gets an immediate boost.
Okay, I looked it up. This is his nickname. So not only did he tattoo his legal name on his arm, also as a nickname, he will never get lost. Anywhere you go, he is identifiable by 2 tattoos. That's a record amount of identifiable tattoos.
I agree, bro. This is A+ branding for himself. Also, this has to be a 10.
Yeah, he basically has his passport on his back. That's hilarious.
Passport on his back. That's
Listen, if he likes it, I love it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Easy 10.
Yeah, look, 10 out of 10. Listen, Damien Stoudemire can do no wrong, apparently.
Damon Stoudemire, shout out to you. What's next? Next up, we have Brandon Jennings getting a tattoo of Roscoe's Chicken. That is a famous restaurant all around America.
Listen, you're setting me up. you're setting me up. I'm not gonna say the thing.
What thing?
My lips are sealed. This is not my conversation to have.
Is it not a good place, Donovan? Have you never been there before?
We'll talk about this offline.
Rate it.
I think this might be okay. It makes a lot of people look bad, so I want to say this is like a 2. But at the same time, I respect him because he's standing for what he believes in.
What does he believe in?
Quality food and chicken and waffles. That's what it is.
It's just Roscoe's. It's not even like, it's fine.
It's great to him, bro. What you mean?
Don, what'd you say last time?
What? Oh, listen. You like it, I love it.
10. And that's all
right. That's the last one. What an interesting tattoo. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
We need more NBA players.
I wish it was better, but it's just fine.
Yeah, we need more NBA players to get outrageous tattoos, bro. Back in the day, they were on one.
These are hilarious. Next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and do something relating to hot takes. And not necessarily hot takes, but claims and just like general discourse topics. I'm going to give you an NBA take or just general statement, and you got to tell me if it's a W or an L, if you agree or disagree. You know, real simple.
Okay.
So, is this NBA take a W or an L? First off, Jalen Brunson is better than Trae Young.
Right now, this is a W. Trae Young can't shoot a basketball.
W.
He has a broken pinky.
Okay, I'm not saying who would win a 1v1 today, but who's the better player overall?
Same shit applies, bro. He's the better player right now overall, I guess. Get the fuck
Say
out
it
of my
again.
face.
Say it with your chest.
Why do you want me to say it with my chest?
He
You
can't
say it with your
his
chest.
He's sad because he knows that it's the truth. He knows that Jalen Brunson is better than Trae Young right now.
Oh, right now, I have to be honest. He is the best player to wear number 11 right now in the Eastern Conference. But next year,
What a wildly specific. Oh, Trae Young's with number 11. Okay.
yeah, exactly. Next year, though, we are coming for that fucking throne. Best believe.
What's he going to do next year that changes this?
He's
Play
going to
with-
shoot 40%
play with
from the
Wemby?
three-point line. Okay. All right. I did not come here
He's
for this
averaging
fucking
14
slander.
assists when he plays with Wemby, and then he will actually be better.
So you're saying Trae Young has to be the second option to be better? That's tough.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Jalen Brunson needs to be a second option, too. He's not on number 1. Candace Parker told y'all months ago, too. Facts.
First of all, that wasn't Candace Parker. That was Becky Hammond. You got your women mixed up.
Ooh, yeah.
This guy doesn't respect women.
Ooh, no, don't say that.
W take.
For now, W. I can't lie.
All right, next up. W or L. The Nets have the worst future in the NBA.
They're in the fucking mud, bro.
It's an
They're
L.
in the mud.
It's an L.
And they have
They
no choice.
they don't have the worst.
Who has
Who's
the
worse?
worst?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Nah.
What?
Nah.
The Charlotte.
Why?
When has Charlotte ever had hope? They don't do anything right. And their main star that they just gave $260 million, his ankles are broken every November. He can't last. They are going to forever be in a rebuild.
Would you rather have 20-year-old Brandon Miller or 27-year-old Mikal Bridges and none of your first-round picks?
Yeah.
Would you rather be in Brooklyn where you can have the slight chance of getting a free agent or be in Charlotte, North Carolina? Tell
Both
me
of
which
them
one
are
you
cooked,
want.
bro. You said the Brooklyn Nets as if they fucking they did land Kyrie and KD a couple years ago, but still, you can't blame the
And
Hornets.
how did it turn out? You think any star is dying to go there after how that played out? I fucking doubt it.
Dude, half of the Hornets roster
That
is
was
addicted
more
to fucking
because of
drugs. So it's
personal
like, how
preference.
can you pick them?
Listen, the Hornets have a core, an actual young core, and a soon-to-be top 5 pick. The fucking Nets have 16 role players that should be on other teams and a whole lot of nothing to go with it. No draft picks, no stars in the pipeline, no promising young talent that can take a step forward. They are nothing.
The best thing about Brooklyn right now is whenever Mikal Bridges hits a 3 and he can hit you with that celebration. Other than that, they ain't got nothing going on.
The best thing about Brooklyn is they have a Kith store. That's
Wow.
all we can talk about.
I wasn't aware. I'm going to New York tomorrow. I will tap in.
Best thing to come out of Brooklyn is Shake Shack.
Okay. That's hilarious.
Shake Shack is elite.
It's awesome.
So good.
All right, next up. Nikola Jokic is a top 3 passer of all time.
He got it.
Easy. Really?
He got it. LeBron, Magic, Jokic. They got it.
I agree. Jokic is not the third name on that list. We're
Who
talking
is?
Magic Johnson. We're talking Nikola Jokic. He is top 2.
Wow.
I'm not ranking. I'm just saying.
Wow. Higher than LeBron
I'm going to go there.
James.
Listen, he's long had the best passing big man of all time crown. That's a conversation that doesn't need to be had. He long has had for about 2 years now. He's had the best passer in the NBA. Not a conversation that needs to be had. We got to take it to the next step. He is on Mount Rushmore of passers.
Listen, did you see? I know everybody saw. I don't even have to ask. The full court outlet pass that he had the other day. On the money, he has every pass in his bag. He has alley-oops. He has outlets. He has bounce passes. He has behind the backs. He has no looks. Every pass that you could ask anybody to make, Nikola Jokic does it.
Exactly. He has the processing speed of LeBron James, the passing accuracy of Chris Paul, the height advantage of Magic Johnson, but to an even greater degree,
and the
full
flair.
package. I don't even know what his passing weakness would be to make him not be top 3. He's honestly at the point now he's averaging 10 assists per game too, so you can't even do the volume thing against him. No weaknesses there.
You know what? I was gonna try to argue against you guys, but I'm gonna just shut up and stay in my corner.
That's right. You're not going to win a Nikola Jokic argument against me. I won't let it happen. I'll be louder even if I'm wrong. All right, next up. Jalen Green will be an all-star next year.
Oh, this is
Nah. All-star starter?
It wasn't supposed to say starter. It wasn't supposed to say starter.
Just all-star? No, I'm
Yes,
good.
Jalen Green will be all-star next year.
No.
Yeah,
No,
no
no,
way.
no.
No, that's the case.
You don't believe in the leap?
Nah,
I need to
Steph
see it in
Curry's-
October.
Yeah, exactly. And the leap needs to be monumentous, bro. Like Curry's still there, Luka's still there, Anthony Edwards just arrived, Devin Booker still exists. I didn't even talk about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's
Or
5
De'Aaron
guards
Fox.
right there for you, bro. De'Aaron Fox is still there. Yeah, that's tough. That ain't gonna happen.
Every year guys get hurt though. Like, do you think, is it crazy that you could see this past month and assume Jalen Green will be all-star level?
Listen, he might not be the best player or the most all-star caliber player on his own team.
Yeah. They'd have to be pretty good to get 2 all-stars.
Yeah, they'd have to be
it's
like
not
a
happening.
top 5 seed at minimum. And even then, that's just like we've seen literally the Sacramento Kings be that. And it's tough, bro.
And
Can't
no
happen.
all-stars.
Yeah.
Tough.
Politics.
Sorry, Jalen Green. They're giving you an L take. It wasn't me, but we'll continue. L take.
Definitely.
Next up. Anthony Edwards is the best shooting guard in the NBA.
People
This
have
is
tried to
hot.
push this narrative all year long. And Devin Booker, just like on this, just waiting in the corner. Understand, Devin Booker's still here. He's still the best shooting guard in the league.
Hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. I would say there's more of an argument for him to be like the second best, but even then, I like Donovan Mitchell's still absolutely insane. Even though he's just coming back from injury, we know who he is at the end of the day. I would say Ant's like still he's the third best comfortably for sure, but he could be the second by the end of the playoffs.
Listen, if anybody's gonna spread Devin Booker propaganda, it will be me. I just wanted to see how much y'all were riding for Aura, man. Devin Booker's still better, the better passer, the better scorer, a good defender. You know, Anthony Edwards is better there, but overall game, I'm picking Devin Booker still easily.
Exactly.
Ant just don't have enough advantages.
He does have the way better shoe though. It's not a comparison there.
I need some more consistency from Ant before I can make him the best shooting guard in the league.
Devin Booker made the finals as the best player on his team. We don't talk about that enough.
That is true.
Yeah, we don't care about that Suns team. It's okay.
Everybody hates Devin Booker.
Hey, man. If Anthony Edwards makes a podcast one day, he might be the best because it'll be pure gold with the way he yaps.
Oh yeah. Listen, you make a podcast in the NBA player, you get clout points immediately. That rises you up a good 10 points in rankings.
I agree.
I'm looking at Jeff Teague and I'm thinking Hall of Fame now.
You think he'll be a Hall of Fame? Ant makes a podcast, he's literally going to be the GOAT.
He's Jordan?
Yeah, just literally Jordan, bro.
Yeah, that'll change things. All right, next up. Domantas Sabonis is more valuable than Rudy Gobert.
Who said this?
This is an understandable take.
Is this what the streets are saying?
The streets are talking.
Streets
need to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. This is a terrible take.
It's understandable. Let's try to rationalize a little bit for a second. The passing is there and the scoring is there.
We don't have to rationalize it. When you see crazy, you don't rationalize crazy. This is wrong and it's insane. Sabonis is not more valuable. He's not equally as valuable as Rudy Gobert. It's not true.
If you want to do like the whole, he's more talented, sure, whatever. He probably has a higher 2K rating because he does more things well. But what Rudy Gobert brings defensively brings more winning, has more impact than what Sabonis brings as a double-double machine he is. You're not going to win with a lackluster defensive center and a player who needs the ball in his hands and isn't a spacer. It's a hard formula to win with. And we know Rudy Gobert can play next to talented offensive players. We know who elevate everybody defensively. So much easier to build a winning team with that.
Sabonis' double-doubles are fake.
Wow, bro. Now that is crazy. After he did something that historic you're saying is fake?
I don't care about any of it. You know how they have streaming farms? I don't know what Sabonis did, but he did that for double-doubles.
He's botting them. He's
faking his streams? That's crazy.
Oh my God, right. He's paying off the scorekeepers is what you're saying?
Yeah. You're not gonna lie. If you need to win a playoff series and you pick Sabonis over Rudy Gobert. That's what streets are saying. If you need to win a playoff series and you pick Sabonis over Rudy Gobert, that tells me a lot.
I'm picking Sabonis over Gobert if I have a 3v3 tournament. All day, every day, it's not even close. Sadly, the NBA is 5v5.
If I need to win the All-Star skills competition, I'm rocking with Sabonis easily.
Facts. I agree. Damn, you know what these two both have in common now? I look at them. They're both Draymond Green victims. Tragic. I just look at him.
They're going to start a class action suit against Draymond Green.
Yeah,
we're really pitting two allies against each other.
I might pick Sabonis, though, to be honest with you, because he's more durable, because he got his whole chest stomped out, and Rudy Gobert almost passed out from getting put in the chokehold. Might pick Sabonis.
That's hilarious. All right, next one. Cade Cunningham was the wrong pick for the Pistons in 2021.
Who should they have picked?
You tell me.
Listen, if you think this, I need to know who you think the Pistons should have taken, because Cade Cunningham was the obvious number one overall pick in that draft, and they did the right thing taking him. Now, everything else that they've done after they've taken him, listen, I can't really speak on that, right? That's not really good. But this was a good move.
Yeah.
Listen,
this is a W.
You ask a Rockets fan, Sengun's the best player in that draft.
Yeah, but they're Rockets fans. They haven't seen good basketball since Harden had a full-blown mohawk, bro. They're in the trenches. They got mud in their eyes right now. This was a great pick for them. There was no one else to go ahead and select.
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes was there, but at that point in time, I still think Cade is actually, I don't know if I can say that with my chest now. Holy fuck, that's a whole
Scotty's
new
an all-star. Looking back, was it wrong? Benefit of hindsight.
Would Scotty be an all-star if he was in Detroit, though? No, he wouldn't. Fuck
nobody would be an all-star if they were in Detroit.
He's in Toronto. They are also down bad. We're not acting like Scotty's playing for the Celtics.
Detroit. They make no NBA history, bro. They play with quality players, and Masai Ujiri has them walk in and out of that organization and arena with respect for the game of ball.
Exactly. Listen, the Raptors did not get disowned by Wingstop.
No, he doesn't, bro.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, looking back, if you redraft today, Scotty's the better player. But I still have faith Cade could be better long term. I'm not selling any Cade stock yet.
Yeah, I agree. Troy Weaver, this is the first and only W that he has on his resume.
L take. And I believe that's the last one. So next up, what we got next?
Let's keep on going.
I think, okay, next thing we're going to do, I'm going to sign myself up to get yelled at by the TikTok comments.
Oh my god.
What I'm going to do is, I'm gonna read you guys my top 10 players in the NBA list. You know, we did our top 10 players like a couple months ago. I changed my mind very quickly. Soon after that, a lot of things changed, and I regretted how I did my top 10. So I'm gonna tell you guys my new current up-to-date top 10 players, and you guys are gonna react to it and let me know what you think as I go.
I respect your bravery.
This dude has J-Dub at number 5. I already know. I know Wemby might be top 10 actually. This is gonna be real nasty.
So yeah, listen, honestly, this is brave as fuck. Breaking anything on TikTok is asking to get roasted because people just like want to see their favorite player propelled to number 1. So I'm gonna get torn to fucking shreds, but we do it for content.
Listen, Anthony Davis is about to be 7 on this list.
All right, so here we go. These are my current top 10 players in the NBA. I'll start from 10. At number 10, it's between Anthony Davis and Devin Booker. You could lean Anthony Davis given the two-way impact, but I'm going to go Devin Booker because I think he makes players around him better offensively in a way that's really impactful.
Okay. Ceiling is higher with a Devin Booker-led team compared to an Anthony Davis-led team. It's just natural.
Exactly.
I agree.
It's somebody who can be a one option versus the best 2 option in the league. I don't feel good about it, but I'll give Devin Booker the small nod.
That's fair.
Okay.
I respect ball.
Okay. Starting off tame. I like it.
At 8 and 9, I'm going to go LeBron and Kevin Durant. I'm going to put the old men next to each other, but I'm going to give LeBron 1 spot higher.
There we go. I was about to say, you believe KD is better than LeBron right now? Go to hell! But never mind. I like where you're going right now.
So aggressive.
I still feel weird putting LeBron this low because I know in a playoff setting, he's probably closer to the top 5 of who I want. But, you know, he can't do it for an extended period of time anymore.
Okay.
You're not getting yelled at yet.
At 7, Jason Tatum. Is that fair?
I
need to see who's at number
KD
6.
higher, but okay.
At 6, Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Okay, that Tatum pick makes sense. Steph outside the top 5. I don't love to hear it.
I fucking hate to hear it, but at 5, I'm going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I knew this was coming. Oh my goodness.
This is the hardest part for me. I don't feel good about it at all because I think Steph is going to prove me wrong, and his team is putting him in a terrible position to succeed, so he looks worse. It looks like he's regressed a little bit this year. His shooting has been really bad in the second half of the year. Again, his job is hard. Shai's going to be first team All-NBA for 2 years in a row. I think he deserves it.
Man, you put Curry on that OKC team, he is putting up like a smooth 34, 35.
They win the finals.
This team is completely different.
But I think Shai's earned top 5 status. But I don't feel good about it because Curry makes people around him better still.
Okay.
That's
see
tough.
what the top 4 looks like.
Shai's defense is great, so I won't scream at you for that.
Yeah, the defense is a big difference.
Listen, if your number 4 is not who I think it is, I'm yelling at you.
My number 4 is Joel Embiid.
Okay, good.
I think that one's fair. We can all agree. Top 4 are set in stone.
Undisputed.
3, I have Luka Doncic.
No.
Wow.
Stand on it.
Boom.
At number 2, I got Giannis, and 1, I got Jokic. Listen, you want to put Luka top 2? I understand you. I don't feel bad about it at all. Giannis is having also a ridiculous season while still being a way better defender. Do not sleep on Giannis because the MVP voter fatigue makes you forget about him. He is unstoppable on both sides of the ball.
I agree with that, but you also cannot sleep on 34, 10, and 9 on 38% shooting from the 3-point line on 10 attempts per game. I agree with it.
I'm not exactly sleeping on it, making him the 3rd best player in the NBA.
Nah, you're hibernating.
Oh my God.
Wake up.
It's not terrible. Overall,
You're glazing. Stop it.
You just want the top 2 players to be white. You want NBA white supremacy.
this is supposed to be your agenda pushing time, Isaac.
Right? Don't push your ideals on me.
My ideal.
Listen,
I'm not mad at you putting Jokic at. I'm not mad at either Giannis or Luka being number 2, but I think Giannis deserves it. We all want to quickly crown the new guy on the block, but Giannis is still Giannis.
That's fair. Giannis is putting up historic numbers this year, and literally no one cares. So
it's me. I'm nobody. I don't care.
His name is no one.
I care a lot. This shit means something to me. If nobody wants to support Giannis and nobody wants to appreciate greatness, I will remind y'all he is one of the best players of all time. We're still witnessing a top 20, top 15 peak. Let's not forget about it.
Okay.
Let's see the playoffs.
Now we're pulling a playoff card where Giannis Antetokounmpo.
This is a
let me
solid
see
list. This is a solid
You've seen it so many times. Fuck out of here.
So many?
Plenty of times. Giannis rises to the occasion.
Plenty?
Plenty.
Whoa.
I don't know.
All right, we got one more TikTok before we get out of here. This should be funny. I want you guys to tell me who is this NBA player's biggest rival? It's a variety of players throughout NBA history. When you think of their name, who do you think of on the opposite end of that spectrum as being the guy that stands in their way, their biggest rival, their biggest enemy, their op, whatever you want to call it?
Biggest op. Let's do it.
First off, LeBron James.
It's Steph Curry. It's Steph
Kevin
Curry.
Durant?
He beats Kevin
KD's
Durant.
always been known as number
Yeah.
2, and he hates it, but it's the fucking truth, bro. It's definitely Steph.
It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the only one, and obviously Kevin Durant was there for 2 of those rings. But Steph Curry can look across at LeBron and be like, "We have the same amount of chips, and I beat you for all of them." So, yeah, they're rivals.
Yeah,
He didn't beat them for 2022, but yeah.
I agree.
Honestly, LeBron and Curry should have been like the greatest rivalry of all time. This should have been our modern day Magic and Bird.
Thanks, Kevin
Durant.
Durant.
To come in and fucking ruin it. I respect Kevin Durant. I'm okay with him making the decision he made, but I'll never fucking forgive him for ruining this rivalry. I'm not gonna lie.
Another good candidate is Dan Gilbert. Fucking ruined his case to be the GOAT in my mind, or the undisputed GOAT. He should be that. He is to me, but because he was working around just a lot of Costco members and all that, like
Costco
he
members?
couldn't do much.
Planet Fitness employees in 2007.
Yeah, exactly. No disrespect to Mo Williams. Pure Hooper. Big
You
C.
just called him a Costco employee. It's all the disrespect to Mo Williams. What are you talking about?
All right, next up, Tim Duncan.
Aura.
Ooh.
It's his biggest enemy. He has none of it. Not a single
Facts.
ounce. That's what fucks
Bro,
him
if he
over,
was
bro.
cool, he would be in GOAT conversation. His biggest enemy is his lack of appeal to casual fans.
He is the anti-aura man. It gets no worse than that, bro.
That's crazy.
Is it LeBron James? Played him in 3 finals.
Could it be LeBron? I don't
He's
know.
2-1. Is it him? Is it Shaq? Is it Kobe?
He doesn't have enough aura to really go. I don't know.
Tim didn't really care about the rivalry.
Exactly. Like, he just respects greatness all around.
He says ball is
How do you
ball,
have a
bro.
rival? And also, how do you have a rival when you just beat everybody's ass for 20 years in a very quiet, respectful manner?
Yeah, post on social media. Just go ahead and
I
does
guess
his
it's
little
aura.
post hook and plays great defense. Bank shot mid range, and he goes home showers. Like, he's a simple man. It's
Casual
What a guy.
fans are casual fans his rivals?
Honestly, I think he gets a lot of respect these days, though. So maybe he's just kind of like him.
My narrative is working. I love it.
It's hilarious.
All right, next up, Luka Doncic.
The Dallas Mavericks
Devin
front
Booker.
office. Devin Booker too, sure. I like that.
No, the Clippers.
See, it's kind of the same thing. He shows up and he just dominates the Clippers every single time.
But the Clippers win.
Luka versus the Clippers is very different, where it doesn't matter who wins the game. He's dropping 45, and we need to acknowledge that every single time.
Listen, but if you can't win the game, how much does it matter?
That is
It doesn't matter in this sense. We've heard for years, Kawhi and PG, amazing, wing defenders. Luka's like, oh, what? Who? No, not you guys. Not you guys.
Zubac sees him in his nightmares.
Yeah, so it's probably Devin Booker, or it's probably the Clippers, but I can see Devin Booker just because it gets kind of chippy.
Let's say D-Book. I like that.
Okay, fair enough. Next up, Kobe Bean Bryant.
The Boston
Celtics. He can't
Celtics.
beat LeBron because he never fucking faced him in the finals. I think it's the Celtics.
I'm going with the Boston Celtics.
Interesting.
Listen, he played them in 2 finals, right? Yeah, he played them in two finals, lost one, won one. He cared so much about beating the Celtics. He was playing bad. He was all up in his head. I have to do that. It's either that or Shaq.
I was gonna say Shaq too.
You're missing the clear answer. It is Shaquille O'Neal. I've never seen a rivalry within teammates quite like this. It's not even close. They were such bitter rivals that they fumbled potentially one of the best dynasties we've ever seen because they could not motherfucking coexist. That's a new level of rivalry.
Shaq, just to work hard. You could have had 5 chips.
If they would have stayed together, they would have had fucking 7 chips, bro.
Exactly. And I'm blaming Shaq. It's not Kobe's fault.
That's hilarious.
All right. Next up, Draymond Green.
Common sense.
He is his own rival for sure. His inner demons, the inner monologue that's like, swing. That's his biggest rival.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real shit, because he called KD the B word back in 2017, 2018, which caused him to leave. You fumbled the Warriors out of 3 potentially more rings. Yeah, it might be him, bro. It might be him. He won the best team of all time.
Draymond looks in the mirror and he sees NBA YoungBoy. That's his biggest rival, is that reflection.
What was he up to in therapy? He probably was doing that shit over Zoom.
Not a damn thing. Nothing.
He dialed up BetterHelp, had those fake ass therapists.
BetterHelp. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
He had a podcast ad to get a month free.
Oh yeah.
All right, next player. Jason Tatum.
Jaylen Brown winning the finals. Late game shots. I don't know. Does he even have a rival? Does anybody look at Jason Tatum and be like, nah, he got me that one time?
Hey, is it Jimmy Butler? They play each other a lot.
That doesn't feel like.
But there's no real static there though.
I don't know if Jimmy Butler got him out of here last year in pretty dramatic fashion.
I think Jimmy sees that as a rivalry. I don't know if Tatum looks at it and it's like, yeah, it's a rivalry.
Jimmy sees everybody as a rivalry.
Exactly. That's my point. I don't know if Tatum has a rival.
Man, he's
is
an
it
unrivaled
MVP
talent.
conversations?
MVP conversations? Narratives. That might be his biggest rival.
Yeah.
Nah, there you go. All right, next player. We have...
Oh,
that's the last one. Oh, but we didn't put one on here. I had another name on this list I didn't get put on there. Jimmy Butler.
Normal hairstyles.
Normal hairstyle.
He just can't go to the barbershop and get a fade. Like, can you just get a taper fade, please? Can you do that? You're showing up to media day, all these crazy wigs, all this stuff. My man, get a 2, low taper. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Well,
I think his biggest rival just might be October to April. He doesn't give a fuck about those months, bro. All those months in between, doesn't give a fuck, bro. That's his rival.
Winter.
Actually, no, being serious, actually, his biggest rival might be the Minnesota Timberwolves still, because there was real static there whenever he plays there. Or it might be the Philadelphia 76ers and Tobias Harris. Yeah.
It might be Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's biggest rival is whoever he sees in his eye line at any given moment.
The voices
He can
in
go
his
to the
head.
sandwich shop, and his biggest rival is the guy behind the desk who isn't willing to give the sandwich for free. Anywhere he goes, he will make a rivalry out of it.
He's competitive as fuck when it comes to anything, bro.
Yeah, he could have a rivalry with the fucking broom. It doesn't even matter. He'll find a way to make something competitive.
It's hilarious.
This dude is insane.
All right, man. That's the last segment we had. That is the end of the show. If people are still here, what should they comment, Donovan?
We beat the hiccups.
They beat the hiccups. You beat the,
The
hiccups.
last 30 minutes, I've been hiccup free. I'm so happy.
Look at that. That's growth.
Yeah, and they should also tap in with the newest episode on Donovan Smoot's YouTube channel about
True.
betting.
First video essay just dropped. Check it out. It's the first line. It'll be in the description. It'll be in a pinned comment. Flock. We'll see you later.
Meters,
Peace.
we move.